This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, is my co-host for a big week, Nick Mason, doing some classic chair farting comedy during the intro song.
James, people assume, I think, that the comedy ends as soon as the podcast ends, and we get into our separate Fleetwood Mac jets and we fly away. But the comedy never ends, and I've discovered after recording in here for a number of years that if you lean on the chair, it makes a funny creaking noise.
What do you think was?
Yeah, I paid extra for this chair.
Okay, good.
You'll check the invoice; it's got one farty chair on it. I mean, you paid extra for this chair.
Here's a question. What do you think was the age where you went, a chair making a funny noise isn't embarrassing? Because everyone knows it's a chair, right?
Oh.
But do you think there would have been a point, I'd imagine, in primary school where you do that and people are like, oh, you farted. And you're like, oh, no, I farted. Everybody thinks I farted. I didn't know. I didn't do it.
That's interesting. I wonder if... I can't remember. I
mean, you clearly passed it.
Yeah.
You'll do it on a podcast.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I guess it depends what the first incident was.
Sure.
Like, I think because I don't think that ever happened to me in school, but I think if you did it and then you leaned into it like, I did this on purpose, I think you'd be the king of the class. But I think if you did it and then it's one of those. You got to point the finger. You got to point the finger first.
Yeah.
You got to and be like, pull this finger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You absolutely. That's true. That's true at school, isn't it? It's how you own it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you become super cool. You become king of the school. But then you never peak again, and that's as high as you ever go.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good thing you were embarrassed during school, which I think was the point of what you were saying.
Yeah. And now I'm the king of life.
The king of life. Exactly. Mason,
stay in school, kids, and don't be the king of the school.
Don't do it.
Do you think there's somebody out there, though, who was king of the school and is just king of life now?
Yeah, I'd imagine like Brad Pitt was probably like king of school, king of life. Do you know what I mean? But he's probably got his personal
I don't
problems.
know. I'm going to look. We continue the show as
I don't think there's anybody that I know in my personal life.
I'm going to look up Brad Pitt yearbook photo, and I'm going to see how this guy's looking.
Well, do you know anybody in your personal life who you would consider king of school, king of life?
Absolutely not. No. But that's because I never knew anybody who was the king of the school.
You would have seen them at your school, like from afar.
Oh no! Every time anybody attempted to be king of the school, there was a coup, and they were dragged down from their throne, and they were killed.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. What do we got? How's he looking?
The problem is with when you look at famous people's yearbook photos is a lot of the time it's tough to say whether it's a real yearbook photo or somebody's photo, like they've reverse engineered.
That is a massive problem in society. That looks real.
It's maybe the biggest problem.
He's
in
good
society.
looking, but he's not like crazy good looking.
Yeah,
I guess.
right. Yeah.
It's a weird thing to say about an underage Brad Pitt. Yeah, he's good looking, but he's not.
Also, any of these photos could also be the photo of his brother.
Yeah,
who is almost exactly as good looking, but there's something
wrong with him.
There's something slightly off where you're like, well, he's not a movie star. He's a very handsome regular man, but he's not a movie star.
Yeah,
you know
Chad
what I mean?
Pitt.
Chad Pitt, exactly. Yeah.
He's a dental hygienist or something or whatever he does.
Yeah,
yeah, good stuff. Anyway, Mason, before we get into it, our Falcon and the Winter Soldier recaps, they're up and flying, aren't they?
Oh, yes.
Collins has made the first one. There's two reviews. There's a spoiler-free one. That's right. Very good. Just one of them.
Just one. They're up in arms.
And then there's this the patented, one-of-its-kind spoiler-free review that goes up also.
Might be one of one. A very limited edition one of one, because it's, as we learned, it's quite difficult to...
exactly.
Because you've got to keep the energy up. You can't just do it like you do on a podcast where you just ramble pre-spoiler section.
Yeah.
You've got to do it. You've got to keep it exciting, but also not spoil anything.
Right. Oh,
so you have to be like...
If you want to get to Justice League, there's time codes,
for sure.
Yeah.
If you want to dash right to that.
Yeah.
Like... And also, if you do a spoiler-free review of that sort of thing, it often like the things you might have to say often sound like you're just making them up, like you haven't seen it.
Yeah, right.
Like, this action is spectacular.
Yeah.
So
you prefer the spoiler-heavy ones?
I think so.
Yeah, fair enough. But also, if Collins turned around and said, "I don't want to edit these spoiler reviews anymore because it's killing me," I'd be like, "Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right, we'll pack it in." I don't want to kill a man. Speaking of. Sad
Or
news.
I mean, it could just be like a static photo, and the audio.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Brad Pitt's yearbook photo.
Yeah, that's
to
true.
keep people interested.
His edits are getting more complicated as well. I don't know how he's doing
Right.
it. Yaphet Kotto, though, age 81, has passed away. People might know him from Alien. He was wearing the headband.
That's true, yeah.
People might know him from Live and Let Die. He blew up like a balloon at the end.
Sure
It's
did.
crazy. He was also on Homicide: Life on the Street for a number of years.
Yeah.
Age 81. I think I mentioned that, but I'm not sure about the cause of death. But what an incredible career, though, really.
Yeah.
Look at these things that he's been in. Amazing. Bond villain. He was at the table when that alien burst out.
It's true.
Like, imagine being in that scene.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. You'd be
So-
like, I don't know if this is going to look any good. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is
pretty
this going to
much.
be a classic of the genre or just some crap?
He did actually reprise the role for the Alien Isolation DLC extra, where the crew came back and they did some extra stuff or whatever. So yeah, that's cool.
The DLC download. Alien Isolation. We're back from heaven.
That's right, exactly.
We're back. We've got
Back.
angel wings.
Yeah, oh, very good. Anyways, let's see how I get on with. Awesome career. Decent life, 81, I guess, but still doesn't seem long enough. 81.
Get out of
Thank
here.
you. Longer.
Yes.
Speaking of longer, delays but not dismays, Mason. A famous segment of the show where things are delayed. Though it's becoming less and less, isn't it?
That's true. I mean,
Yeah.
people are. Hollywood seems to be settling into this idea of, well, we got to make a decision here. We got to decide whether we're going to put it on streaming.
Yeah,
pretty much.
exactly. It's Fast and Furious.
Yes.
Yeah, James Bond. Venom, Let There Be Carnage 2 is moved from June to September 17th.
Okay.
Andy Serkis's own.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There you go. I'm interested to see whether that one will be better. I think it will be than the first one.
Look, I trust Andy Serkis's vision somehow.
I like
What has
Andy
he
Serkis.
directed? He must have directed
He
things.
directed the other Jungle Book movie that people didn't like, but I did like it. I thought it was better
Okay.
than the other one.
Jungle Book 2, Let There Be Carnage.
Exactly. The other thing is
Jungle Carnage.
Jungle Carnage.
Yeah.
Gotham Knights has been moved. The video game,
Okay.
that one where you play as Batman's mates.
Yes, I remember it. Yeah.
It's moved-
Wait, okay. Oh, not the Suicide Squad one, the other one,
the other
the
one.
Bat Family one.
Yes, this is the people who made Batman Arkham Origin.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is set in a different universe than the Arkham games, though Batman is dead.
Correct.
Also in the Arkham games, Batman isn't really dead, because if you find all the Riddler's racetracks, you unlock the secret ending where Batman is alive or something. Just like that famous comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they delayed it.
What? You're gonna blow past that like it's nothing. I did not know that.
Yeah, there's a secret
I mean,
ending.
obviously, I assumed he's not actually dead in those games.
Yeah, you got 100% it. I never did it because I didn't want to drive around in a tank for fucking 100 hours.
Those Riddler puzzles got too much.
It was just like, find a box, throw a batarang at that box, then it
Yeah.
opens and you get a...
First game, it was just like, take a photo of a thing.
Do you see the guy? Do you see the guy who invented Arkham City or whatever? There he is. Take a photo. That's like,
You did it.
I've built you 100 underground racetracks,
Right.
and you need to make good time. I've tested the time, so it's all possible. But there's also varying degrees of difficulty, which I've factored in.
I'm cruel but fair, obviously.
That's right. Yeah, but they pushed it back to
Also, I'm not the Riddler anymore. I'm the racetrack designer. That's my new persona. Instead of a question, it's a question mark, but then the question mark goes around again.
Oh, okay.
And it's a racetrack.
It's a racetrack.
That's
I'd
I
imagine-
can just recut all my costumes.
I'd
and
like
put
to think
them-
it's
put
one of
them
those,
together.
those kid mats, like those kid carpets, but it's like a racetrack. It's just one of those made into a suit.
Great.
Anyway, it's to deliver the best possible experience for players. So yeah, I don't have a problem
And
with this.
maximize crunch.
No doubt.
Because they don't want to, obviously they're not going to give the designers more time.
Yeah.
They're just they've started crunch.
Yep.
And they wanted to have the maximum amount of
Yeah,
crunch.
just as
until it's
much as you can
released.
fit in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just really upset everyone.
Like a delicious cereal, except upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah, maximum crunch.
Is that a cereal you're pitching here on the
I'm
podcast?
thinking of Crunchy Nut cornflakes.
You are, it's true.
But it's, I just went with what I was. Sometimes you riff and sometimes I riff. And maybe I'm not as good at it. I don't know. Bob Chapek.
James, you're just as good as riffing. You're just not as good in the realm of cereal.
That's
You know what
true.
I mean?
And I'm very tired all the time. Black Widow news. Bob Chapek has said that that's coming out early May or late April, depending where you are. We'll make the call probably at the last minute in terms of how Bob Chapek runs Disney. In terms of how these films come to market, whether it's Black Widow or any other title. So we're going to find out like a day off, I guess.
Right.
Or close to, a couple of weeks out, I'd imagine. So what do you think of that?
Day off is going to be like PSP exclusive. Sorry, what?
Gotta get
one of those UMDs.
UMD.
It's going to be UMD
Can we
only.
download it? No.
No. And now it's going to be a race to the op shops and the secondhand stores to find some PSPs. That's how we're going to do it. I'm Bob Chapek. I'm an eccentric lunatic millionaire,
I would
probably.
Love that. If they did that, I would love it. I would love everything about that because I have a PSP for one.
Of
but
course.
then I'd have to find I'm not one of these guys who got the PSP Go, the digital only PSP. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, right.
I knew this day would come. I'm ready for it. All right. I think it still works. Star Wars news, mate.
It's going to be like there's going to be one copy. Mm-hmm. We're going to release it. We're going to release it digitally, but it's going to be on a USB stick. It's going to be in Disney headquarters. Oh my god! There's one.
Yep.
It's one of those non-fungible tokens. You can't copy it.
Oh, are you getting into the world of NFTs, Mason? No. How many NFTs have you bought?
I bought 100, but I mean just to be on the safe side.
Got to be on the safe side.
Yeah. Anyway, they got to fight their way through Disney headquarters.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Only the true fans.
Yes, of course. Yeah. And the boss is Kathleen Kennedy, I'd imagine, and Brie Larson.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's what I think people would want. That's what the true fans want. Star Wars news, just some things that they're releasing on Disney Plus as well.
Okay.
Gendry Tartakovsky's.
I love that character.
Me too. No, he did the Star Wars Clone Wars series. We did a couple of kind of Caravan of Garbages on them.
We did.
The first animated Clone Wars series, the 2D one. They're going up.
Samurai Jack style?
Yes. Also the Ewok movies, the Caravan of Courage. That's rewired my brain, hasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, those two movies and Battle for Endor.
I didn't doubt for a moment they weren't on there already.
Oh, yeah, well, there's a few things that they haven't put up there, including the Star Wars Holiday Special, but they are putting up the story of the Faithful Wookiee, which is the animated section of that show.
The weird, Hunter S. Thompson animated thing that we've seen. Yeah,
which I think is kind of great.
Yeah, I think
it's
so
the
too.
first appearance of Boba Fett.
Do another one of those.
Yeah, you probably could. I think someone's... there's a YouTube channel who did who's recreating Heir to the Empire, and he's doing in that kind of animation style. I don't have the name of it, but I can bring that up at some point.
Please do.
But yeah, so that's pretty cool, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
So
why not the whole holiday special? I mean, is there some rights issue? Or?
I don't think because people don't like that.
Because it sucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it Heir to the Empire? The other one? No, it's Dark. What's the one that we did the
Shadows of the Empire?
No, the one with the Emperor's back.
Ghost Prison.
No, Dark Empire.
Dark Forces.
I think is it Dark Empire? Yeah, it's Dark Empire.
I could just say any combination of Shadow, Empire, Dark.
Yeah, Sith
Forces.
Temple. Yeah. It's called...
Temple Forces? They're releasing Temple Forces. I love it.
Wilkins Animation is doing it.
Okay.
There you go. So that's cool. He's working his way through that at the moment. Okay, what else have we got here? Mason, Deadline are reporting that Warner Brothers are making an Hourman movie. In addition to
Warner
the pilot
Brothers
movies they've announced.
I'm making an Hourman movie.
Hourman. What's he again?
Well, I mean, it depends.
Okay.
But this is what I think there's an Hourman in the Stargirl TV
there
series.
There is. And maybe Legends of Tomorrow, maybe?
Don't know.
Don't know either. Let me check.
Anyway, there's different versions. So the original version is like a Roger Ramjet style character. He takes drugs and he gets superpowers.
Sick.
Which is very cool. And then in the 2000s, there was a future version of Hourman who was a robot. He could travel through time.
Rick Tyler, and Matthew Tyler.
All the Tylers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so it could be any one of those.
Okay, so he's in the Unlimited series. He's in Justice League Unlimited. He's in Batman Brave and the Bold. He's in the CW live action something. He's in Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, he's in Legends of Tomorrow.
And he's in Stargirl.
Okay,
so he's in both of those. Both Rex and Rick Tyler are in Legends of Tomorrow.
They've probably retconned it now, so instead of taking drugs, he presses a magic hourglass or something. Or a technical, like a high-tech hourglass and he gets superpowers. Probably, if I had to guess.
If I wanted a technical hourglass, I'd visit the What's New store.
The early to late 90s novelty store.
Trinket store. If you want a clock that looks like it's melting, or a bowling ball,
some rude novelties.
Yeah, that's right.
Some rude greeting cards.
Something for your dad.
Yeah, and you've fallen in through a time portal.
If you want a card that says "Happy Birthday, I'm a sexy lady," and you open it up and it says "Fuck you, you're old" or something like that, then What's New is the perfect place.
Oh my god, is that. It ever? Yeah, so, there's some neon signs.
Yep.
It was a real mixed bag.
Certainly was.
Yeah.
I never saw anybody buy anything, but there were always people in there.
It would have been a destination for like 18th birthday presents.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yard glass. You want a yard glass?
You want a yard glass?
Go to What's New.
You want a yard glass, Mason?
You've gone back through time though. Just to be very clear, they're all out of business now.
Yeah, you're trapped in time.
Yeah.
But what
you're trapped in time, and that's your number one priority.
Okay, so here's something I put in for some reason. It's the last bit of news before we're going to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League.
The time has come.
The time
we
has
did
come.
it, folks. We did it.
We made it.
We made it happen.
In
They
many
finally
ways we
released
did.
the "You should probably move" cut.
Every now and then I'll get a comment that's like, you said this wouldn't happen. And I'm like, I never said that. And I never said I didn't want it to happen either. I'm not standing in the way of this. You're looking for someone else, I think. But, that's cool. Amazon is working with Pat Casey and Josh Miller, who worked on the Sonic movie.
Go on.
For a new Ace Ventura film. Jim Carrey not confirmed. What do you think of that?
New Ace Ventura.
Because after the second Ace Ventura, he said, I will never do another sequel. But then he eventually did Dumb and Dumber.
And he's almost certainly going to do Sonic 2.
Yes. So what do you think? New Ace
And he
Ventura?
did. Do you think they'd just get the new rubber-faced guy? Who's a newer rubber-faced guy?
A newer and more
Kate
rubber-
McKinnon.
That's not a bad choice, but that's giving people Ghostbusters vibe. And,
They'd hate that.
and
Right, good point.
people hate Kathleen Kennedy, so I don't think that'd work. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah. So, Jim Carrey not confirmed, but I'd say he would probably do it if they're working on it. There was a kid Ace Ventura movie where Ace Ventura had died.
Okay.
And I follow the actor on Twitter.
And he was in hell?
I follow the actor on Twitter. He's quite funny. But yeah, I just think this will be one of those, this is a sequel that's come far too late and sucks in the tradition of.
Yeah.
I still haven't finished Coming to America. I got 15 minutes
Also, the
left.
first one's got a whole bunch of weird stuff.
Yeah, it really
You're
does.
Like,
Yeah.
All right, it's fine.
Exactly.
Look, it feels very much like a Zoolander 2 situation to me.
Yes.
Like I'm not going to watch that unless I'm forced to watch that. I don't think.
Okay, we're doing an episode then.
Yes. James, just before we get started, I did Google What's New stores, hoping to get a breakdown of all the crap that they sold.
Okay.
There's a Herald Sun article. Whatever happened to novelty gift store? What's new? It's got a paywall. You think I'm gonna go through your paywall, Herald Sun, to read about what's new? The novelty gift store? Yes. Here we go.
I'm heading in. All right, we should do Justice League.
We should talk more about Justice League.
There's
We are delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, they posted yesterday this Shepparton page.
Wow.
My goodness.
What is new? You know?
None of this shit. All right. Nobody wants this.
No.
This is too niche, even for us.
Fine. God.
This is not working.
All right, well, this next segment is for the people, but obviously not for the people. It's for the true fans.
True fans, that's
This is
right.
just for the true fans.
It's not for the Kathleen Kennedys of the world.
Exactly right. This is just, if you're not a true fan of Zack Snyder's vision, his true artistic vision for Justice League, switch off now.
Yeah, that's right. I just want to say quickly up top, they reckon it was around in terms of budget, $70 million for reshoots. So special effects that they redid a lot, all of them. Marketing, obviously, it's probably more than $70 million, I would say.
Yeah.
We don't know yet will it pay off like numbers wise for HBO Max, but it is getting a lot of buzz. People are talking about
That's
it. It's
true.
constantly trending, and there's many stories about it. But speaking of stories, what do you think the story was?
Oh, no, he's done it. You son of a bitch. All right, have you seen Justice League?
Yep.
It's the same.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
Well, is it?
I mean, similar.
Yep.
But it's not this. I don't feel it's. I feel it's like an entirely different product.
Well, I mean, the billboards that I've seen have said Justice League, and then underneath it says a new movie streaming now. Like they're like, we got to get ahead of this because people are going to be like, I've seen this.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah, but do you think they'll think that when they're watching it?
No, because it's 4 hours long.
So
Or maybe they
isn't
will
it?
maybe they will at a certain point, like when they check their phone and they're like, this has really been going a long time.
Certainly has, hasn't it?
Here's the story. Superman, he's dead. And because he's dead, he sent out a big magic screen that is awakened all sorts of stuff. And the bad guys are like, well, Superman's dead. We can get in on this planet. We can get...
There's an activated mother boxes.
That's right.
Should we just do all spoilers? This movie already came out.
It's true, yeah.
You've probably seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on.
The mother boxes, they're up. The bad guys are coming. They're going to get this world. They're going to get it good.
Yep.
They're going to be like, we're going to turn this into a volcanic hellhole.
Like we did 100,000 others.
I mean, we've got plenty already then, clearly. But what's one more?
What is one more?
Want to turn it into another lava world? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
But who's going to stop them?
I reckon there'd be enough lava worlds. You could just
right.
find lava worlds.
That's what I'm saying. you
Yeah.
know?
Okay, yeah,
Or just
yeah.
worlds with nobody on them.
Yeah, that's right.
Mercury. It's already kind of a lava world, isn't it?
Sure, yeah.
You know what? Darkseid can have Mercury.
You know what's really cool? It's a really big lava world, the sun. If you look at it, it's kind of like lava.
Wait, that's true, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, the Justice League they're gonna form up.
They're gonna
Don't
stop
even worry about it.
it.
They're eventually gonna form up.
Yes. What did you think?
I didn't hate it as much as I thought I did. I would. I didn't hate it as much as I thought I did. No, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. I didn't even feel like I was really watching a movie. It felt more to me like I was watching a documentary, like quite a long documentary about the making of a film that I had already seen.
Okay, sure.
That was ultimately my takeaway from this.
So not a negative experience for you.
Oh, I mean, kind of a negative experience.
Sure, yeah.
Well,
okay.
I mean, the thing about this is what I would say about this movie is I think there are some scenes that are better, like noticeably better.
Yeah, I would say even this. I kept having this thought of why did they reshoot this?
Yeah.
When they clearly could have just cut a 2-hour version of this that would have been much better than what they put out.
Right.
It's kind of crazy that they reshot like very similar things.
Well, there are scenes that are, I would say, markedly better. One in particular. I think there are some scenes that are worse.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, go on. Yeah.
There are some scenes that they seem to have used, like you said, a very similar but worse take.
Yes. Oh, you mean in the original?
No, I mean in this version.
Oh, really? I feel the opposite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think that there are some. There are. I mean, not massively worse, but I'm just like, oh, that's
Can you think of an example off the top of your dome?
I think the moment when Bruce goes and meets Barry for the first time, Batman and the Flash, Secret Identities, and he says, "What are you doing in my second favorite chair?" I think that's a worse take than the original. But I think the version in the 2017 version was Whedon, and they couldn't use it.
Oh,
because
okay, yeah.
I think it's one of two things. I think either they've gone with this version, they've gone, well, okay, we'll excise every piece of Whedon footage and we'll put in every piece of Snyder footage, even if it isn't as good.
Yeah.
Or they just had two alternate takes from whoever, like Whedon or Snyder, and they just went, we should put in a different take
I
so
did
people
see
feel that it's
I did
different.
see a side-by-side of that, and from memory, from my memory of his hair, I think it might have been a different take of Zack Snyder's in both.
Yeah.
I don't know that for a fact.
But I think maybe
I thought
some
that
of the
scene was better, though, because they didn't do any of that brunt shit. It's way less funny.
Well, I think maybe that's the case. Is that
Sorry, attempting to be funny.
Yeah,
because it's not a funny scene.
I think that like tonally, this movie is more consistent.
Yeah,
and I think
it's funnier without doing as many jokes as well.
Yeah, and I think aesthetically, it's certainly more. Way
I mean, it
more
certainly
consistent.
has a look.
And I think it looks very nice. And I think, given that I hated the last one, I thought it was. I think it is still the worst DC movie that Warner Brothers has put out
ever.
Oh, I forgot about Wonder Woman 84.
Is it?
It's on. They're both bad.
Yeah.
I would say ultimately this would be. I would consider this a lot better than the previous version.
Yeah.
Except it's 4 hours long.
It is 4 hours long, isn't it?
It's too long.
It is too long. I'll say this though. I thoroughly enjoyed this.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I wasn't really expecting to it's way too fucking long.
Yeah.
Like I've written a list of things that they should have cut out.
Well, here's number one. We'll get to that. Here's my first thought about this is just as an editing exercise, I think it would be fun for somebody to take everything that is in slow motion, crank it back to regular speed, and see how much that shaves off the runtime. I don't think it'd be a lot, but I think it wouldn't be nothing.
I think it would be a lot. There's a lot, there's some stuff of where the Flash is gearing up for his big thing or whatever. Yeah, you keep that because that's a character that plays with time and speed and all those kinds of things. You could keep all of that, but there's a bunch of very regular stuff. That's
I think the thing is, and you know, that this is the amount of footage for a $300 million movie or whatever it is. This is the amount of footage they would have filmed, or 3.5 hours of it maybe.
Yeah.
That they would have filmed just to say, okay, we've got all the coverage. We've got all the characters reacting to things. We've got all the characters doing things because we don't want to go into the editing room and go, oh, we didn't get Lois Lane reacting to the ship crashing or whatever.
We'll just do every scene knowing that.
Yeah. Like that is, I would imagine, is standard procedure.
Yeah.
But because they're we don't want to leave anything on the cutting room floor because this is the Zack Snyder vision, we will put everything in. And it's if this weren't a very special situation, they would have brought an editor in and he would have gone, okay, you know that scene where Lois Lane, she looks through the closet and she contemplates all the different plaid shirts and she picks a plaid shirt and then she looks at the plaid shirt and she thinks about whether this would look good on Clark, and then she walks over to Clark and he doesn't have a shirt on, she hands him the shirt and he goes, oh, why would I need, because I don't have a shirt on, I'll put the shirt on. And then they have a conversation. Like, I think in that scene you would just start at the conversation.
Yes.
Because we, the audience, aren't going to go, he didn't have a shirt on before. Now he's got a shirt on. How do you get the shirt? How do you get the... Well, shirts are plentiful in the wild.
Yeah,
He could have stolen off...
And a plaid shirt in the countryside? Are you kidding me?
He could have stolen off a washing line like a Man of Steel. We've already primed to know how a man would get shirts.
Man of Steel?
More like a man of shirts?
No, because he's stealing
stole
the shirts.
it. Okay, right.
Man of Stole, I should have said.
Man of Stole. It's good. But like, I think they're just like, but we can't take it. Ordinarily, a movie like this, they would have taken it out, but they didn't.
I think the problem... I don't even think this is a problem. What I think this is an interesting exercise in, when you're filling cinema seats and there's a specific runtime and you have to get a certain number of people through for sessions to maximize profits, when you release something on streaming, you don't have to do any of that. It can be as long as you want, apparently. And look, it's not entirely necessary. So much of this is extra. It's just fascinating.
So extra.
It's just fascinating to me the way that this came together. And I also think it's an absolute travesty that the basic story beats of this were already covered in a much worse movie. So I was still also surprised how surprised I was by some inclusions that I didn't know existed.
Or that you thought were Whedon stuff and
there was a few
Snyder stuff.
Like the Jesse Eisenberg inclusion at the end. I was like, surely that's a Whedon thing. It was recut, like it was remade, obviously, but like even that choice of suit, I'm like, really, they went with that initially. But I think this would have been better again if you didn't know everything, all the like the mother box stuff and how Superman comes back and Steppenwolf and all of these things we kind of know going in because they already released this.
Well, James, here's a segment I'm introducing. It's called Maso's Hot Tip for the Big Win.
Here we go.
For people out there, if you're like, well, I saw Justice League 2017, should I watch this? I would say Maso's Hot Tip for the Big Win is step one. It's a 2-step process. Step one, remember what happened in Justice League 2017.
Yep.
Or if you don't want to do that, just read the plot summary on Wikipedia. And then get your copy of Zack Snyder's Justice League and start at 3 hours and 5 minutes. And you won't miss anything. You genuinely won't.
What's that? What is that point?
That is when they take off in the whale ship and they land in Eastern Europe.
So even you'd keep all the resurrection of Superman stuff?
Yeah, that's all prior.
I thought there were scenes in this, including that one, that were just paced so much better, even though they were longer. But the bringing back of Superman, the death, I thought was really stupid last time. Because just like, we'll drop the box, we'll zap the box and whatever. But in this, they explain what the boxes specifically do, which I think was sorely lacking from the last movie. Yeah. And there was this tension in the revelation of like when the boxes and then it hits and then he reverses time and it kind of plays into later in the movie, which is again a new addition. And all of that, I'm like, oh, this is like it's the same, but it's better and it makes sense.
Right, but you're saying that as somebody with a vested interest in being interested in these kind of
things.
Okay, I'm saying if you're a casual fan of this stuff, ultimately, while I think many of the scenes are better in the prior to this 3 hour mark, I think if you just get in on there. It's at the point where they land in Eastern Europe, and in the previous cinematic release, Batman says, "Okay, now all you guys stay here, and I'll go out and do some Batman stuff."
Even though I've assembled the team,
and they're like, "Why did you bring us here then?" And he's like, "No time to explain." And then they're like, "Well, we're part of this team too," and then they do Justice League stuff. In this, they actually have a plan and some teamwork, and I think that the last action scene in this. Up until the defeat of Steppenwolf. Yeah. Spoiler alert. I think that is way better paced in terms of
much
like.
Better.
In fact, like I think I texted you at about the hour and a half mark, and I'm like, this sucks. this version sucks, but at the back end is better.
It's way better. Yeah.
But again, like if you shouldn't have to slog through this. And they shouldn't have spent $400 million and 2 tries on this to get it mostly right, but it's too long.
Yeah, see, it's the thing though, like, I agree the second half is better, but I did enjoy everything still kind of leading up to that. Again, there were definitely things that
I think
dragged.
it's fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was a drag, yeah.
But I think it's for me, I think I enjoyed it beyond the fascination of it. I was more invested in characters. Because if you look at like Flash, for example, I was like, yeah, he was fine the last time. And then the more I watched that movie or the second time, I went, I hate this guy.
I have a note here. James. I've written here, the Flash is just as annoying in this version, but somehow it took him less time to become annoying than in the Whedon cut.
See, I thought he was...
I changed my tune eventually, I think. But he does show up immediately. He's like, what's resumes? You know?
Okay, sure.
Because there's an additional scene in this where he goes to get a job at a pet care store or something like that, and he brings his resume and he's annoying. But
See, he is annoying, and then he's feeding dogs with sausages or whatever afterwards. But I'd seen bits of that scene before because it had been leaked. But I thought that was great, like the turning and the bursting of the shoes. And I think they did an interesting stuff with speed that they didn't do in the other movie. And you kind of super speed was done so well in Days of Future Past, where no one's kind of been able to do anything proper with it. But there was a few scenes of this with the Flash, including the time travel stuff at the end, which I really enjoyed. And there was one bit where there's a whole bunch of rubble falling. And he's like a lightning strike.
Yeah.
And we didn't get anything. I haven't seen anything like that. Yeah. And we didn't get anything like that in the previous movie.
I'm very interested, and I wonder if
he still trips too much.
Yeah. I wonder if we will ever find out how much of this, like, if you know, I like that sequence. And again, he looks like he looks like he's appearing in a lightning strike, etc. Was that in the original version, storyboard wise, or was it or has it been added since? Because this is essentially an entirely second chance that Snyder has to make a better movie.
I know people have said, like, this is the original vision.
I don't think
it is. It's his original vision now, but it wouldn't have been what we got in 2017 if he was able to release it. It probably still would have been 3 hours.
Even if you said, here's the storyboard of that happening, I'd be like, I don't believe you. I think
Me?
I don't believe you, James. But I think there's some. This is why it is fascinating to me, because I think there is some rewriting of history going on. Of course, this character would have always been in it. You sure? You sure? But
that being said, like, there's footage and things that there was only one major section in which they did reshoot. So, like you said, like, everything that was included in this, they would have had to already. But that being said, you can do CGI double. So, so I guess you're not wrong. What do you think of the aspect ratio? Because I was totally fine with it.
I didn't notice it, really.
I've complained about it, I know, like, in jest, but I thought it was interesting.
James, when you're at rapt attention to the television 1 inch from the screen,
yes, that's
you
right.
don't notice it at all.
But what
I've written here, Marthan Manhunter.
Yes, that was, you texted me Marthan Manhunter.
I did.
Do you want to talk about
that? Pointless.
Yeah.
Look, I think what I think is interesting about this.
It's cool.
No, that's the thing. I think there are two. There's probably more, but there are two fan service elements in this movie which are completely pointless.
Yep.
And I absolutely think they were added.
No, that one, Martian Manhunter, was supposed to be not the end scene.
Right. Yeah.
That was a reshoot.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
But the Martha stuff was always in it.
Yeah, but like the Superman black suit thing, like
that was an addition because Warner Brothers made him shoot it in color, and then he changed it for this. Yeah,
we covered it on the podcast. I remember, but again, I don't believe them.
No. So I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, right.
So they did change. It wasn't. They shot it in color.
Yeah, no, I know.
And they recolored it. Yeah.
But again, I don't think that his plan was to do the black suit thing.
Well, he wanted to do a mullet as well.
No, he didn't.
You don't think so?
I think he's just saying these things.
I don't think he is.
Because he spent his entire DC directing career doing things that fans didn't want until he developed a fan base that just watches whatever he makes. So why would he upon making Justice League go, I'm going to do everything the fans want. I'm going to put in this black suit, but then he would have made it like Man of Steel, like Batman v Superman, just a bunch of stuff that he felt like, and that people who've been reading comic books for years are like, are you sure you want to? Yeah. You sure you want to do that?
You know what's interesting about the black suit as well? And by the way, I think it looks awesome. I think it's a great looking suit.
Well, that's the only reason it's in there.
Yes, because there's no narrative reason behind him having it. Because he also sees his
regular suit.
He sees it. He doesn't choose it. And he also has it at the end. You know when
that's a black suit again.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's wearing the black suit around at the end.
So look,
it's not like a special Genesis.
And I don't
whatever.
I don't want to turn into a Marvel versus DC thing. But here we
go.
Here we go. So like in Avengers Endgame, when Steve Rogers picks up Thor's hammer, we all go hooray, and it's obviously fan service. But there's like 5 years of you know, teasing that out, and he nearly picks it up in Age of Ultron, and it's a thing that happens in the comic books, and it's, you know, and it shows that they have, you know, grown as friends and soldiers or whatever, and it's kind of a nice moment. And in the comic books, Superman wears the black suit because he comes back, you know, from death or near death, and he doesn't have any powers. He's weakened, and it's like a recovery suit. But in this, he just
picks it. I agree.
But that's the thing. Like, Superman doesn't seem like a guy who'd be like, "Well, I'll wear the black one because it's cooler." Like, he doesn't seem like a guy who would pick a thing because it's cooler. Or does he think it's going to intimidate Steppenwolf?
Maybe,
because Batman's not intimidating Steppenwolf, is he?
Not with the goggles.
No, absolutely
not. Set of goggles.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with the Martian Manhunter reveal at the end. He's like,
you know, I've got
He
something.
flies down and he's like, you know, your parents would have been really proud of you, Bruce. Okay, who are you? Do you know my parents?
Okay, I got.
Did you work with them or
maybe, because he could be anyone.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, if you put Zack Snyder, if you're listening, and I know you are, why not add more to this movie? Why not add a scene with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Thomas Wayne, like interacting with like the John Jones detective version of Martian Manhunter years ago, and then you could be like, we worked together, and I know him, and I knew him when he was alive, and I thought we were...
Could have been 4 hours and 7 minutes.
Right, yes, exactly, yes.
So what I did like about that scene,
yes,
which was a reshoot, and you can tell because Affleck like looks different. He looks good, by the way. Like, he looks
better,
healthy, so that's good. He's just not fussed. He's just like, can I help you?
Yeah.
Like, he's not threatened or anything. But here's the thing.
Yes.
Zack Snyder wanted to put in a Green Lantern, and Warner Brothers said...
Did he?
Yes, and Warner Brothers said no, so he put in Martian Manhunter and said they shot that as just like a generic, like, whatever.
Wait, which bit?
The Martian Manhunter scene.
The one at the end?
Yes.
Huh.
And then went, well, we can't do Green Lantern, so because we'll put this guy
Also,
in.
it could have just been anyone.
Could have been anyone. Could have been Starro.
Hello,
can I help you?
So was Ben Affleck acting to anyone?
I guess.
Okay.
Or like a stand-in.
Or a stick.
Or stick. Yeah.
It's me, Sticko, from the planet Sticko.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of your parents and you. Yeah. It's interesting because there's a lot of things that I didn't enjoy about Batman v Superman.
Well, maybe make your feelings known about it sometime.
Yes, but there's also things. But I do like that movie, right? Despite all we've done videos on them and podcasts.
You don't like it. You've been entertained by it.
Yeah, I guess. I like it.
Interesting.
I mean, it's not.
Wow.
It's not my favorite movie, and I don't think it's as like deep as everybody says it is. But the way this movie opens with like lightning and smoke and CGI monsters and fire, I'm like, we're back. Here we go. Like, there was that sense of like, I know this universe, and I don't really have any complaints about any of the characters of this like I had like the previous characterizations, because I'm just like, this is just this universe, and Batman is this is the version of Batman, and I'm just, he's fine. He is what he is. You know what I mean? But then there's things like, they start activating all the mother boxes, and there's like 100 Amazons in that room before the box even activates. So I'm like, are they just always like on guard, are they?
They are, yep.
That whole scene is better though, also, and it looks better.
It looks better.
And it's tenser.
But...
And I think their plan was better because they didn't they had a plan which was to dump it into the ocean.
Was that their plan?
Yeah, because they knock out the pillars and...
Yeah, but then she leaves with a box.
Yeah, to kill anybody who comes out of it, I guess. I think
you'd leave it in the building and then drop it into the ocean.
I guess you would.
Yeah.
But they also don't want him to get it. So if he gets it, he can leave. Yes. I guess.
Yeah.
But like,
listen, gals,
what I'm saying
if I get this, I can leave. So if you could just...
But what I'm saying is...
I think Steppenwolf's design is better also.
I agree. But also, I think that chase now makes more sense because it's a chase of desperation that you didn't know you had to have because you thought that sinking the building into the ocean would have killed whatever came out of it.
Ah, okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think Steppenwolf's armor, like there's a bit where he gets hit with all the arrows and it just like shears them all off.
300 style.
That's good stuff, man. I'm into it. And also the boom tubes say boom this time.
They do say boom now.
Instead of going...
James, do you have any criticisms of this movie that you love, that you're in love with? Your favourite movie?
Are you upset that I liked it?
No, I'm just fascinated.
I think the Darkseid flashback was really good. I liked it in the last... everything I liked about the last cut of Justice League movie, it's all from this. Or everything that's good in that movie, even though a lot of people don't like it, It's from this.
Right.
Like that flashback with the Green Lantern or whatever and all of that, but it's Darkseid this time. Also, bad plan, Darkseid. What are you doing? He just gets hit with an axe and then carried off.
And he's like,
also,
when you never encountered a magic axe before, you idiot? Come on.
Maybe he hasn't.
Take me home. I'm sick of this.
But there's also...
Why is it that he doesn't know where Earth is?
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because the Earth has the anti-life equation. It's like, we've been looking for this planet for 100,000 years or whatever, however long he's been around, I can't remember. But it's like, you didn't write anything down.
You were there.
You came on a ship.
Check your autopilot or something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Also, there's all okay, here's the thing that I didn't like. It's still like there's no identity shit in this. It's just like everybody in that Aquaman town knows that it's Batman. Lois Lane yells Clark at Superman.
Here's something that I noticed in this version, and it's almost certainly in the last one as well. Aquaman's just in the room there, and Batman's like, there's a man, where's the man? You know what he looks like. You've seen the video. You sent the video to Wonder Woman.
Do you think
he's right there?
Maybe do you think he was not, I was going to say, is he not trying to out him? But then again, everybody in that room knows who he is.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what's
because he's
going
like,
on.
I'll give you $25,000 if I can talk to this man.
Yeah.
I'd be like, can I talk to you, the man who's there? The man who's
I'm
there.
keeping my money.
I'm talking to you for free. What are you going to do about it, fishy man? Mr. Fish?
Yeah, fair point. I can't really argue with that. I think the Wonder Woman in the bank opening is better as well. And there's some good Wonder Woman action stuff. Like the speed that they give her.
Uh-huh.
And also...
I think she still looks a bit silly going...
Yeah, totally. But I liked it. I'm into it. And then at the end, she just fucking vaporizes that dude. Just like... It's just a hat because it's just a red mist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Wonder Woman is 5,000 years old. We find out.
Cool.
Yeah. Also, what do you think about that hint of a Diana Bruce love connection thing? Because I know you're a big fan.
loved it.
I thought you would have loved that.
I loved it.
You do love that, don't you? Yeah. I liked. Or is Mira English? What's that?
I've got that note here as well. Hang on. Well, let me find it.
We should save that scene till the end, but yeah.
It says, but she's British in the because there's
She's not British in the movie though, is she? In the Aquaman movie, I'm pretty sure.
No, she's American in that.
That's what I thought.
What I'm saying is because there's a scene in this, obviously, like prior to the end,
where she's not British.
No, she is British.
Okay,
she's British where she talk. Where her and Aquaman have that heart to heart.
So it's the movie's fault. They're breaking with.
Yeah.
That was filmed
but
after.
That's the thing. But was she British in the original version of this? In the 2017 version, was she British? I can't remember.
I have no idea.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Can't remember that scene at all.
I don't.
But she's definitely British in
yes.
this. And
the bubble is back though. They're getting inside the bubble and chat, which I thought was a Joss Whedon reshoot thing. But I did like that Atlantis battle where she just goes to pull all the water out of Steppenwolf. I'm like, there's a good use of powers.
Right.
Good stuff there. But the heart of this movie, people have talked about
the
it.
Heart and soul.
The beating heart is the Victor Stone, Ray Fisher stuff, which is much more interesting and tragic. And I can also see why Ray Fisher is like, fuck everybody at Warner Brothers. Because
he got 3 minutes otherwise.
Because so much of this is built around him. And I think all of that is good. Like, he's good and it's
Even the
good.
scene where his mind goes into the internet.
Yeah, I loved it.
And he sees the financial markets as a bull and a bear fighting.
Yes.
Did you enjoy the part where? Did you enjoy the part?
How did you not? Come on.
Did you enjoy the part where he sees the poor woman who's struggling and he's like, I'm gonna make her the money bigger. I'll make the money bigger.
He made the money bigger. Here's the thing about this movie as well. Like, it reminded me of like the excess. And the symbolism, I guess, because the money got bigger.
The money got way bigger. He made his hands like the money bigger.
I think you have something to say about symbolism, but it felt like Chronicles of Riddick. Just like they've taken this
the ultimate compliment.
Take this very simple concept and just kind of blown it out into this like ridiculous, like lengthy expansion of lore and universe.
Right.
And it's just like absolute fucking insanity. And that's what I like about it, that it's just this unapologetic, like 4-hour fucking, just like
it's too long, James.
It's way too long. I know.
I've written all the points in the movie at which I checked my phone.
Here we go.
37 minutes, 51 minutes, 59 minutes.
Were you writing these down as you were checking them?
1 hour 6 minutes, 1 hour 14 minutes. Ooh, don't know what happened in there. Oh, that's the Flash was in that bit, and that's the in between 1 hour and 6 minutes and 1 hour and 14 minutes is where the ancient humans decide to bury their mother box in 3 feet of dirt.
Oh yeah,
and they still haven't changed that.
They're dumb.
1 hour 29 minutes.
Yep.
There's the point where the Flash goes and visits his father, and his father just dumps
Billy
a whole
Crudup.
bunch of exposition. On him.
Recast as well in the new movie. They got rid of Billy Crudup. Couldn't do it.
Oh, then 1 hour and 29, and then I don't check my phone till 2 hours and 7 minutes.
There you go.
I think at which point I've written Steppenwolf has Furby eyes.
Okay.
Because when he gets surprised, he gets these big cute eyes. He's like, oh, hope Darkseid doesn't get mad at me. Oh. 2 hours and 13 minutes. Okay, we're back.
Yep.
2 hours, 30 minutes, 3 hours and 2 minutes.
Okay.
And then I didn't check my phone till the rest of the movie.
That's very indicative.
But in between, I have many notes, James.
Yes, I bet you do. What about the underground under Gotham fight with the big crab and whatever? I thought that was much better. I thought that Wonder Woman versus Steppenwolf fight was good.
Let me see.
And it's essentially the same scene, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
I've written him, Aquaman makes his grand entrance in 100 tons of sewage water.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
My man. He doesn't care. He loves pollution.
Yeah.
I love rising seawater. I love it.
I'll chuck anything I want in there.
I'll eat a big pile of shit. I love it.
I'll take my sweater off and chuck it in the water. I don't care.
He did do that. Actually, Charlie Colosson messaged me and was like, what does he just throw his fucking clothes away, this
Every
guy?
time, yeah. Every time. And no, but he has a woman there who'll sniff him. He'll take the sweater and sniff it. So.
What did you think of the Lois and Martha scenes? Because I was like, whatever.
I don't care.
Yeah. They didn't have anything for Lois Lane to do in this, clearly.
Yeah.
Also, she's pregnant.
Huh.
Did you see the pregnancy kit in a drawer?
No.
Also, I don't know if you
did it say super pregnant?
Super pregnant. And he's releasing information about like what would have been the sequels to this.
Oh, is it that their son is going to become Batman?
Batman, yeah. And I don't have all the information here, but I do want to talk about the future in a bit later. I know you have so many notes, Mason. I like the Superman versus the Justice League fight better because I think for one, it's little tweaks that made a big difference. Like the score is different.
Move.
You should Mason, they did it. I was so happy. I shouldn't have been that happy. I got messages that were like, yeah, it's back. And a lot of people who know me in real life were like, what is this? Nobody understands me in the real world, Mason. Yeah. But I think that whole fight being reframed and just the lighting of it was better. And the fact that they didn't just leave the mother box, like it was jettisoned and then they didn't know where it was. And Victor Stone's father got it and that became a whole thing and he put a tracer on it. All of these things made that sequence better. And also there's no weird mustache. There's no did you bleed?
Yeah.
There's no like Batman like I bled because you dropped me at my knees or whatever. I mean he does have like laser-proof armor, but like whatever.
James, I have a note on that here. So okay, look, here's the thing about this movie, and again, it is an improvement despite being 4 hours long, but for a movie that is for big smarty pantsers, a lot of this movie is really pretty much assuming that I'm the dumbest man in the world. Because there's a scene in it where Alfred is like, I'm building these gadgets, these gauntlets. They're going to look, they've dissipated the energy from the Parademon's laser blast.
Watch out.
And then later in the movie, that happens, and then we get some radio chatter that's like, they've done it. They've absorbed and dissipated the energy from the Parademon's laser blast. We know.
I didn't hear that. I must have checked my phone.
I
believe you.
Look, I know it's been a long time,
yeah.
But in the grand scheme of human existence, it hasn't been that long, and I do remember it.
Yeah. Also, if they were like, Batman's just got pretty good armor, you'd probably be okay with it. I'd probably be okay with it, yeah.
Look, some of the dialogue is improved, but some of the dialogue is still atrocious.
Here we go. What do we got?
Look, I've written here, everything is very stilted.
Yes.
And I've written here, everyone walks into a room like they started existing 1 second ago. And it's not... Look, there are some scenes that are good, but I think Zack Snyder doesn't seem to be good at the walk and talk. Like people walk into a room.
Yeah.
Like it almost feels like like somebody just popped into existence and they're like, put on this lab coat and walk out and hold a clipboard and talk about nanotechnology or whatever. There's some odd line readings in this. There's a guy in it who I'm not sure is an actor.
Which guy?
The lab guy, the other guy, the second in command in the lab.
Isn't he supposed to be like an atom, like the next atom or something?
Huh.
Wasn't it like a hint towards someone from the comics?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. There's supposed to be someone. It might not be the atom. But
okay,
yeah,
right. There's a line when they want to know where that last mother box is, and Cyborg shows up and he says, he doesn't have it. And there's a beat, and then a second beat, unnecessarily long, and he says, I do. We know it's in your hand. You can see it. You cut that bit out. You don't have to. You have to put that bit in. You have to put the bit in
That's
because
not
we
4
know.
hours. If you cut that out, it's not 4 hours.
That's true. Yeah, you don't need that.
It's a 12-minute beat.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it.
Oh yeah, this is similar. I've written here, it's like none of these people have had a conversation before. We know the one person as powerful as Steppenwolf is Superman, so you can probably skip that line.
Okay, sure.
Because
Yeah,
there's a moment where they're like, Wonder Woman's like, I've never encountered anyone as powerful except maybe one man. And then somebody's like, Superman. We know. We know because he's dead and maybe he'll come back we get it.
Maybe he'll come back.
Yeah.
The boxer can rebuild.
Yep.
People.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I liked the bit when he was in the ship and he was going through all the different Kryptonian suits. And his two dads were telling him memories.
Sure.
I was like, oh yeah, two dads, good stuff. He's got
I would have chosen one of the different suits. I would have chosen one of those enormous bulky ones.
Oh man, imagine going in with that battle armor. That would have been sick.
Yep.
Yeah, that would have been really good.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the final battle, or do you want to just give some notes first?
Let me see if I can find some miscellaneous notes. Some of these are notes that apply to the original one as well.
Yeah.
The point where the Amazons have to signal Wonder Woman that the mother box has been, and they do the weird big ritual. Like maybe just send a text. I mean, time is a factor. And they had to wait till dusk and then fire the arrow.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I have a list of things that the things that I say no thank you. That's what I've written here. Additions that I say no thank you because it's very long.
I've written promotional consideration furnished by Mercedes.
Yeah.
Steppenwolf installs the mother box into the big rock. And then there's a conversation about how like we can the parademons. We've got the one mother box and we've got the parademons out there, and they can smell the other mother boxes and they're going to go get them or whatever. And we got some hostages or whatever. And then later on in the movie, he puts the second mother box in, and he has the exact same conversation with Desaad. Like it's word for word. He's like, they can smell the mother boxes and we've got them sent out. And we've got the hostages.
Say, don't fail us, Steppenwolf.
Maybe, but I mean, again, I think that is a case of we don't want to lose anything from this.
Yeah.
And they would have cut out. They would have cut out one of those.
Yeah.
But they absolutely would not because
I didn't realize that.
It's exactly the same conversation. Yeah, we know why Batman didn't die from being shot in the gauntlets. You explained it.
Yep.
This applies to both versions. There's the moment where Diana's sword falls off.
Yes.
A big...
And Flash does the run around.
Yeah, and she falls off and she's like, and she's going to get... She can't quite reach the sword, so Flash does the run around and he pokes it and it looks like a Renaissance painting. That's what every frame of this movie is painting.
Wait a minute. Is there symbolism in this?
You better believe there's
symbolism. Are there
symbolism.
any themes, though, to parallel?
There's themes and also symbolism. But also, she catches the sword and she just lands on the ground. So, potentially the sword could have just landed on the ground and then she could have landed on the ground and then she could have picked the sword up.
That's true.
Don't even worry about it.
There wasn't anybody there to be like,
It's not like there was an endless pit or anything.
Yeah. No, I can understand that. Yeah.
Steppenwolf has Furby eyes. Yep, I did that bit. I think Steppenwolf needs some colourful lieutenants so he can have some fun banter with them.
Instead of opposed to like talking to the Rock.
Yeah.
Talking to Desaad.
Or just like weird, parademons. And also, then the League can have interesting nemesis.
Oh,
like if they had a fast guy.
Wonder Woman, she'd have to fight a woman. That's normally how these things go.
That's exactly right.
That's what you got to do in these things.
We'd have a smart guy in a cape and we'd have a Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman.
Maybe they've got a tech robot guy.
Right,
and they
exactly.
Go into the mind.
Yeah. Bring them in.
Maybe they've got a Batman.
Yeah,
just Batman.
Did we really need Flash trying on different hats?
When was that?
He has to decide which hat he's going to wear when he pretends to be a soldier, and they drive.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I thought that was all right.
All right,
I didn't mind that.
I thought Cyborg's dad's sacrifice was almost as pointless as Park Kent's sacrifice.
No, he did it because he put the thing because he tagged the box. I thought it was pointless at first.
He could have done it from outside the room.
Yeah, but he was pressed for time.
Could have done it from outside the room. He had so much time.
I think he was dead either way.
He had so much time. He could have gone, my son's here. I've got a lot of time to actually open the box and then come out.
He's not the Flash Mason. He's a regular old man.
Right. He's just Miles Dyson.
Yes, he is just Miles Dyson.
There's a whole big thing. Okay. I got two notes. I got two more notes.
All right.
I got three, but one is just the finale is better than in the cinematic release. We've established that 100%. It is better. I think it actually is good at building some tension, and it isn't. Again, this is the main complaint I think I had with Justice League, despite the entire thing being terrible. Despite everything in that movie being bad, is that the end of the last one is just 5 idiots killing time.
Yeah.
How many's left? 5.
Whatever there is.
It's just a bunch of costume idiots killing time and not doing anything until Superman shows up and solves everything.
Yep.
At least in this version, they all have a part to play, and they all seem to be like we could potentially.
We might be able to do this.
We might be able to do this even if he doesn't show up. It's just nice that he does.
Yes.
Okay, but here's my 2 remaining notes. There's a whole big thing about how Batman's plane won't fly. Why don't you just buy a plane that does fly? Because you're rich.
We see a helicopter earlier.
Right.
But they need a supersonic because they got to get to Russia.
Buy a big one. He's had plenty of time and he's rich. And also I've written here, because at the end they defeat Steppenwolf and they close the portal.
Yep.
And then Darkseid's like, we'll do this with the old ways, get the fleet and blah, blah, blah. I've written here, I think it'd be funny if Darkseid just lived in an apartment building a few blocks away. Like he just goes out.
The old ways, Uber.
Yeah, he just goes out and it's just a city and he's like...
Maybe the old ways is getting a taxi.
Taxi! And then, yeah, good.
That would be pretty funny.
Right?
I wrote additions that I say no thank you to. Aquaman's weird village goodbye song. Remember that weird song that they sing?
Oh, they all sing a song.
I don't know, get that.
Look, I think that should stay.
No.
Because there's some great sweaters in that scene.
Okay, fair point.
Just tremendous.
Including the one that he threw in the ocean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Just the textures, James.
I think anytime...
You have no idea. Go back and rewatch that
all right,
scene.
Fine.
Oh, my God.
Can we do it in silence then without the song?
Yes, we can.
Anytime anyone gets a slow song in slow-mo, like anytime that happens at all, you can get rid of that.
So much Nick Cave in this.
Talking to the Arrow and about the arrow that's going to warn Diana, just shoot the arrow. Just be like, this is a warning arrow.
Yep.
Pachow. Amy Adams making coffee. You can get rid of that. And a lot of the slow-mo, though I can't remember which parts because there was a lot of it.
Sure was,
probably,
yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Here's something that also that there's a bunch of stuff that was removed, which I think was 100% for the best.
And then put back in?
No,
to
just
make
remove.
it 4 hours long?
For example, remember at the end of the last movie?
I see what you're saying.
I think this is indicative of like the Joss Whedon version of that movie.
Oh, the Justice League.
Justice League. Where there's just weird alien flowers at the end. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Where they defeat whatever, and then there's just like flowers.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, great stuff. But what I loved about, that final battle, and you mentioned this, when they come in, even without Superman, they just fucking laying waste to like parademons. And then when Superman actually gets there, they just fucking bat him around like a volleyball. And I just really enjoyed that. And when Superman, and he just like shears off one of his horns, just like pins him, and he's just hitting him so much. And I could just watch the Justice League just bat that dude around all day.
And I'm saying, like, again, like it's an enjoyable scene, but it is wild to me that it cost $400 million in 2 goes.
Yes, it is.
It's wild.
Isn't it? Yeah. But even like
this is a fascinating cultural artifact.
It really
Everything
is.
around it.
But even things like separating the boxes, which they did in the other movie.
Yeah.
This was just done better. It's the same thing, but it's just done better.
Yeah.
You know, and things like, and what was amazing to me was that they put in a Superman, original movie, reverse time ending.
Sure.
Which I was like, what the fuck? And I liked it. Like as he's running back, the ground is like reforming in front of him. I'm like, this is good stuff, man.
Yeah.
It also sets up the next Flash movie. Also, is this canon? Zack Snyder keeps saying like it's not officially canon, but I mean it is really.
I think that if they ever eventually get this Flash movie off the ground, I imagine it will be. Yeah. It'll be either ambiguous enough that you could say it's probably a sequel to this, or they will just say, yeah, it's a sequel. They'll put in elements that are definitively a sequel to this, and they just won't mention it.
Exactly. And I loved Steppenwolf's death. Like he's skewered, and then he's punched, and then he's beheaded, and he tumbles through the portal.
And Batman gives him the finger.
Yeah, it's like, I'm here too.
Yeah, I'm here too.
And then there's that moment, and I think it's really like good and tense and ominous, where there's just that stare down between like everyone at Apocalypse and like the 5 people on Earth that might be able to stop him or whatever. And I think that's a great ominous moment in the movie. And it does set up things that maybe we will see.
Maybe.
We'll have to see what's going on. But do you want to talk about the future stuff, the additional scene?
Oh, boy, do I.
I was very much on the side of like, look, I'll make fun of Jared Leto's Joker all day, I used to say.
Yeah.
And because he didn't get a fair shot in Suicide Squad.
Oh, where's this going?
But this is some bullshit, man.
It's the worst
He's awful.
Yeah, I
don't hate the scene even.
There was just a moment there, James, where I didn't know where you were going to go with this, but you zigged. You know, I thought you were going to zig, and you did zig. But I thought for a moment you might zag. I prefer his performance in Suicide Squad. He's better in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, of what we saw. But just like, and I know
some of it's improvised.
Yeah,
as well, I think.
you know that We Live in a Society. I was watching an interview. I think it was Colbert, where he's like, "Yeah, I improvised that." And I think it's going to be in another cut that they've taken out or whatever. But that's fine. But like, it felt so like masturbatory, and even literally, because there's a line about that. He's going to jerk Batman off or some shit. But just like, it felt like you're trying to do Heath Ledger spinning his wheels kind of thing. Yeah. Except the difference with that is somebody wrote that, it feels like, and it's very purposeful. It's not Joker improv fucking hour.
Yeah.
And maybe he did say the exact lines.
And it didn't even occur to me until afterwards. I'm like, because these characters have never met in a movie before.
Yeah.
Like the Affleck Batman and the
I mean, they're in a car chase, but whatever.
And the Leto Joker have never met before, or we've never seen them interact on screen before. So that's why this is new, right?
Yeah, it's new, yeah.
But it's not. It's bad.
Bad.
And I love I always enjoy, future apocalypse, and there's a ragtag team. Some of the good guys have gone bad, and some of the bad guys have gone good.
And some are dead, and
somebody's got a wooden leg or whatever.
All of that, great. It's just that guy I do not like.
And also, is he now just constantly bleeding from the mouth?
I guess so.
Does he have gingivitis?
He must have gingivitis. A guy like that would have gingivitis. But just the whole we've
and
tied.
Batman's like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna kill you.
I'm gonna fucking kill you, or whatever. That was really funny. But it is. They're just
Zach, should I say the F word? Should I say the F word when I do this?
3 F words in this.
Whoa.
Justice League. That's not his name.
Justice effing League.
Cyborg says it. Batman says that there's another one in here, but just that. Also, they weren't on set together. They were filmed separately because they couldn't do it together.
Great.
But
that explains the incredible
chemistry. But it's like Cyborg's got like a big minigun on his shoulder. Yeah. Like Mira, who might be recast, which probably
she says the
word
best. Bastard in a way I've never heard it said before.
Bastard. and Aquaman's dead, and Wonder Woman's maybe dead. Or is she
and
there?
Who else? Yeah, and Harley Quinn is dead.
Harley Quinn's dead, and Cyborg's got like a giant minigun on his back. And then Superman turns up or whatever.
Yeah, but he's back in his classic costume.
Well, he had to have been because the flashback from Batman v Superman. Also, if this is the same future, does that mean he kills Batman?
Oh, good question. Also, this might just be a dream.
Flash is in like a robot suit.
That's the version we saw in the Batman v Superman original dream sequence. Again, these just might be dreams. They're just Batman's dreams.
I think what it might be is like future echoes. Like,
maybe,
it's
sure.
probably because the Flash is constantly trying to like yell at Bruce in his sleep or whatever the fuck. But
it finally explained that weird helmet situation that
exactly.
Flash has.
Oh my god. Yeah, Lois is dead, Arthur's dead, Wonder Woman's dead. And there's some other stuff where you see Lois dead and Darkseid walks up and you see that, there's hints towards how he turns bad and whatever. But yeah, like gross. The Joker,
what a
no
real,
good. Just not
no good.
Good.
And again, this would be a post-credit sequence if this were Marvel, but DC doesn't do post-credit
anymore.
Sequence. They just do things that happen after the main bit of the movie, but before the credits.
Can you imagine a world? Can you imagine such a world?
Oh, no.
Can you imagine if this didn't record? It is, by the way.
And Deathstroke is on the team.
What did you think of Jesse Eisenberg? I didn't ask you before about his suit, his Lex Luthor suit. It's a reframed scene.
Yeah,
whatever. But
I mean, it's a Gene Hackman suit is why it exists. And again, it's a weird left turn for the character. But then I'm like, that's how Zack Snyder dresses. So
sure,
sort
that's
of
fair. Yeah, I guess in a way, know clothes, don't you? I also liked that it was for his daughter at the end. I thought that was really nice.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, look, despite everything, and I know there's a bunch of like very fucking toxic people who have been pushing for this movie. And I know whenever I say that, people are like, it's not everybody and charity. And yeah, I know all of that, but you cannot deny, but there's some absolute fuckwits who are like, who are ruining this kind of shit.
Here's a fun test for you out there, folks. Just go on Twitter and just tweet the words Zack Snyder and nothing else. Eventually, you will get somebody replying to that tweet and it'll be like, yeah, Zack Snyder, so what? He makes great movies, but you've never made a great movie. What of it?
Yeah, exactly.
Style it back. It's fine.
And that's the thing, like, I like Zack Snyder. He seems like a very nice man, and like he's had a lot of shit like thrown at him as well.
We've discussed,
and he's had some personal problems, related.
We discussed this earlier, and I think that when it seems to me, based on some videos I've seen of him recently, that when he says something extreme about this universe, it's because he's on as a character. Right, yeah. So when he's like, this is maybe this, what are you, some kind of idiot who doesn't think Batman would machine gun a bust a load of duds? Like he's in character as a hype man, I guess.
Totally, yeah. This is like an unapologetic, like just Zack Snyder movie, like, isn't it? Like from like through, like just through and through.
Yeah.
And Here's the thing, though. What do you want out of this?
What I want is for somebody on the internet to edit it down to a manageable length.
Okay, what do you want from the future of this series?
That thing that I just said.
Okay.
This is all I want.
When that's done.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about like because
that will happen, right? Somebody will do it.
Yeah.
It's somebody's probably already done one.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, I'll probably just look up the scenes that I like on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I have. I watched that last fight. I watched it again because I'm like, this is fun. I like this. Look at them kick the shit out of this fucking deer-looking dude.
Yeah, right.
Loving it. Yeah.
What's he keeping that horn? More brains?
Same
Less brains?
voice, but also like
Just pus?
Yeah, same voice, but like just completely different.
He does have Furby eyes, though.
Yes, he does.
Go back and watch
what do you think
those.
about the dark side design as well? Even though everyone's big and grey, I liked it.
Yeah, all right, I guess.
Could have been more rocky, I guess.
And also, I don't think his Omega Beam effect is any good.
I
think it's bad.
He did underwater.
Yeah, no, but it's supposed to be like it felt like it was kind of weak and just like it was
Unlike like Superman's lasers is like being lit on fire.
Yeah, like the Omega Beam is supposed to be like Superman's heat vision times 1,000,000.
Yeah.
Like it's meant to be terrifying. It's meant to be like if they'd seen it, like they wouldn't have done that stare down to Darkseid at the end if they knew what he was actually capable of.
Yeah,
they'd be like, they'd all be like, don't come to Earth.
Yeah, well, that's it. Why didn't he use it? I guess he wanted to come to Earth.
Yeah. Or maybe it doesn't work the same in this universe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it should be. It was just nothing in this. So
My brother, the one
I like it how it goes wibbly wobbly and goes, in all different angles, but it should be scarier.
Yeah. My brother, the one you don't like, who did not like this movie and is still trying to get through it. He messaged me. He's like, I can't do this. This goes forever. He's got a big indent in his chest where you could probably hit him. He's got no rib cage.
His heart's right there. You can see his heart beating against his skin. Is it easy? Was it easier for us to get through this because we're sort of invested in it?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I guess the real test would be like, if you're not really a fan and could you sit and watch this? But that being said, like, I don't think this is for anybody other than people who like this stuff, is it? Like, does it go beyond that? Would you be like, hey, mum and dad, sit down and watch fucking this 4-hour movie?
When you're finished with Icelandic murder dramas, go and watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. No, I wouldn't. But I mean, surely this. If you've got a captive audience, a lot of people are at home and they've got, they're looking for the greatest new thing to watch.
Yeah.
And they maybe are an audience who have been burned out on DC movies because the last several, like the last thing they watched was Wonder Woman 84, which might be considered very bad.
Sure.
And prior to that, maybe Justice League.
Yeah.
Are you going to foist this on them for 4
I
more
wouldn't
hours?
if anybody...
It should, but that's the thing. Like, I think...
Anybody who's seen Justice League I know who's a normal person and not a weird like nerd lunatic like us, I would not say to watch this.
No.
Even though it's much better.
But that's the thing, like I think it's interesting to me. But as I understand it, Warner Brothers and AT&T are at cross purposes with regards to the release of this. Like Warner Brothers DC didn't want this out, but AT&T did or something?
What if it was a series, though? How do you think that would have affected it? They broke it into 4 or 6.
I've also seen a lot of people say this.
Kind of how I watched it anyway.
Like, I watched the whole thing in one block.
No, it's me too, but I took like breaks.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Food and toilets.
You're right, I did check my phone a lot.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of people say this week, well, you'd sit down and you watch 4 hours worth of a TV show. I would, but it's not the same. Like, they're not structured the same.
Yeah.
If I'm watching a TV series, whether it's 22 minutes, 42 minutes, or an hour per episode, each one of those is structured so you get kind of a payoff at the end of each one.
Sure, yeah.
Whereas if I'm watching this in segments, I'm not sure...
Yes.
Because it's still, despite it being split up into 6 chapters or 7 chapters or whatever it is, it's still a 3-act structure for the most part.
Yeah, right.
And I think you'd get to the end of chapter 1 and go, nothing happened in that, really.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
How do you think you would have enjoyed this if like you hadn't seen the previous one and they were like, there's just a 4-hour Justice League movie you can watch? Which is also kind of impossible to...
Yeah, it's impossible to know, isn't it?
Think about.
I guess because I think I would be willing to sit through it just because I don't already know the plot beats.
I think,
and I'd be more inclined to be glued because I'd be like, what's going to happen in this? What's going to happen?
Next?
I can't stop paying attention because otherwise I'll lose the thread. But if I already know the thread, then
I think this is also a better movie than Batman v Superman, and I think it's also like unapologetically comic booky and over the top in the way that movie isn't.
There's less Batman murdering people.
Well, there's that, but there's less like Clark Kent. I don't like Batman, and I'm a reporter, and people are like, well, just stay away. Why don't you write a sports report? And he's like, I don't want to. I want to write about a bat. And they're like,
I would watch that.
Well, you did, because that's what's in that fucking movie.
But even just well, I don't want to. I don't know.
Well, you're fired.
Well, I don't want to be fired. This is bad day for me. I just wanted to write about Batman.
But like, there's not a lot of like, there's a lot of courtrooms and just weird other shit in that
is
movie.
True, yeah.
That this movie, like, this movie it's just a fucking, it's a Justice League movie as opposed to that movie, which is Batman and Superman sort of fight towards the end and then Doomsday.
Yeah, I think if there'd never been the original Justice League and this had come out, and with the proviso that I didn't have to watch it for this.
Yeah.
And then I read the reviews that were like, this has a lot of empty space that could have been edited out.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably wait for there to be a 2.5, 3 hour cut of this, and then I'd watch that.
I would definitely watch it. I think also
the full version.
Yeah, if you did release it like 4 years ago.
Yeah,
4 years ago. Yeah. My God, as a 4-hour cut, I think I would have been like, and everybody would have been like, why is this 4 hours?
Yeah,
but now it makes sense as to like there is a very reasonable explanation as to why, whether you like it or not. There's a reason why it's. But I
also think that if the things hadn't happened in Zack Snyder's life and they hadn't removed him from the project, and he'd made it exactly like this, and maybe they'd given him, or maybe the special effects were close enough to this that they didn't have to do any reshoots or anything like that, I think he would have been forced to edit it down to a manageable
100%. Yeah, definitely. What do you think we're going to be getting sequels to this? Do you think there's like I think Warner Brothers are at a crossroads because I think clearly it has been well received.
Yep.
Not by everybody, obviously, but it's way more positive than I thought it was going to be.
Why 1.5 of us have received it positively. So.
But not even that. Like, you look at people who like I've read reviews, or I haven't read many reviews, like headlines that are like, I thought I would hate this and I like it. Like people I thought would hate it didn't like it a lot. And
I hope this is the last one of these movies. I hope this is the last hurrah for We've Got to Close a Portal.
I kind of want the Future in the Desert movie, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
not kind of. I do.
You do want the future.
I do want that.
I want, because that's the thing. Like, if somebody is willing to give him $70 million for this to redo a thing, how much are they willing to give him to make another one, like another full one?
And I guess the other thing is like, he's always wanted to just make a Superman destroys everything movie, so just do it.
Just let him do it.
Let him do it.
Let him get it out of his system.
Yeah, let him do it.
Give him the Injustice movie, or the closest we're going to get to an Injustice movie.
That's right.
Yeah, I think. Have we? I mean,
remember the bit where Batman was on a big tank at the end for no reason? When I saw the trailer, I'm like, I wonder how the Dark Knight tank's going to work into this. Oh, it's like a scene that goes for like 8 seconds. Do you remember?
I don't even
It's like in the very end.
I don't even remember.
They just put in the Frank Miller Batman tank.
Where though?
It's like
in the nightmare sequence.
No, it's like in the wrap up where it's like Clark's opens his shirt and Diana's,
I don't remember that at all.
Diana's shaking hands with kids. Whatever.
Oh, right, I don't remember that at all.
There's not a lot of Wonder Woman in this, actually, is there? Really?
No.
It's not a Wonder Woman movie.
No.
Yeah.
Beyond like Infinity War, post-apocalyptic, how, what are our lives like after this? Would a nightmare sequence movie be the first of its kind in the superhero movie realm?
Maybe. I mean, outside of something like The Boys, where all the bad guys are good guys are bad guys, but yeah, maybe.
But I mean in terms of like, because, the idea of potential future of a comic book universe where everything is bad, that happens all the time. Like that is a dime a dozen. Like DC used to do annuals, like in the 90s, every year, every comic book, like every character had an annual, and they were all a crossover, and it was always like it's the future and the world's bad. Like that was every year for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's not. This isn't.
But we haven't seen it as a movie.
This isn't groundbreaking. We've never seen it as a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to say it. Yeah. Why not? I think this universe it's obviously established. I don't know whether it can happen at this point, but I think there's a fair chance that it will now.
Yeah.
Anyway, best movie ever, worst movie ever?
I guess it depends what you're comparing it to.
Other movies.
Oh, other movies. Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't the worst movie ever because that was Justice League 2017. That's the worst movie ever
I thought that movie
made.
was fine.
You would. So I guess it's best movie ever for me.
Me too.
But my God, it's
very long.
But that's the thing also, like if somebody tomorrow's like, I've made a version that's 2.5 hours, I'm not going to watch that.
No, of course not.
Because I've just watched
that's
the
what I'm saying.
4-hour version.
That's what I was going to say. Like, yeah, of course you wouldn't.
Maybe I'd watch it in a few years.
Because I hear that about The Hobbit. It's like, well, if The Hobbit was one movie, I'd watch it. No, I wouldn't. I absolutely would not watch that.
Okay, how about this? In a few years, if we do a commentary of Zack Snyder's Justice League, we have to do the short version. Not the 2017 version. The edited. Whatever the most popular fan version edit.
I've thought about this.
Okay, go on.
I want to do, and we might even do it soon.
Uh-oh.
We break it into 2. We do it in 2-hour blocks.
Okay.
We make that our.
How about this? We break it into 2. And we each take one half of the movie. That would be... And I'm doing the first one. I'm like, this movie sucks. And it ended weird. There's no ending to it. So I don't understand.
No wonder they didn't release this. They didn't finish it.
And then it's just you going, who are any of these people? Why did they establish who these people are?
Yeah. But would you do that? We couldn't do it in sitting.
No.
I absolutely couldn't. Yeah. Like, those commentaries, and I'll talk about this all the time, they're very difficult to do at the best of times, let alone doing 4 hours of one. Anyway, I got a few reviews here. Got 3 reviews.
I'm ready, yeah.
From Prosthetic Rob says, #Weekly Planet Pod. Hit us up on Twitter. What up? I went into Justice League Justice League 21,
yes.
expecting a so bad it's a laugh. I finished it, enjoying it. Considering you had 3 character intros to juggle into the story, I feel the outcome could have been much worse, and I didn't think much of Man of Steel or BVS.
Ooh.
Old Greg says, #Weekly Planet Pod. Hit us up on Twitter. Zack Snyder's
Hit us up, bro.
Zack Snyder's Justice League is still a bad movie plus cyborg stuff. Should have made his solo movie first before making the jail movie, plus less quips. Still terribly unfunny. Thank God Lois Lane was a block away from Superman's resurrection. That dream sequence was a big yikes. And C-Ray says, #Weekly Planet Pod on Twitter. Hit us up. Since there's no way it could have been worse than before, Zack Snyder's Justice League was a magnificently bloated, natural next step. It played completely differently, an overall better movie. I loved it. #restore the Snyderverse.
Whoa.
PS best pod ever. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I guess that is another question, is if they want to do another one of these, who's still in?
Yeah.
Like, is Ray Fisher still in?
Is Affleck in?
Is Affleck in? Like,
is he game?
Does he want to commit to another?
You know what you could do? You could kill him at the start because they have that footage.
Oh, yeah, that's
you
true.
Just
yeah, you could just be disintegrated. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Mm.
I get,
he's in The Flash.
Yeah.
He's in the next Flash movie.
Yeah, I mean...
Also, if they're releasing The Flash, and The Flash is about a bad future where there's multiple Batman, and then they're just like, Justice League 2 is also about a bad future, there's conflict there, do you know what I mean?
But I think...
I mean, they could do both.
But I'm saying, like, comic book movie fans and definitively Snyder fans love horrible futures.
That's true.
So... I think people are...
And like you said, they used to do them every year.
Yeah, they used to... There was no shortage of them in the comic book, so just... adapt a bunch. I mean, like,
let's do horrible futures every year.
I mean, I guess if all the actors were willing to come back because they enjoyed working with Snyder and they felt for whatever reason they should come back to do that last new reshoot sequence.
Yeah.
Are they willing to come back for... Did Cavill come back for that last bit?
No, he didn't do any of the reshoots.
Okay, right.
Yeah. Huh. And all these people also didn't do press because presumably they didn't get paid.
Yes.
So they just put up an Instagram post and went, yeah.
So the ultimate thing is who's paying for it? How much are they willing to pay? Because they could do an animated version, but... Well,
that's out. I know Jim Lee's talked about doing a comic as well. They've discussed that. But I don't want a comic. I want to see this.
Would you? What about an animated version in the style of the sort of the most recent ones, but... You get all the actors back to do the voices. So you get Ben Affleck.
I mean, I'd take it.
It's not the same,
I'd take it if that was the only option. Yes, I would take it. Mm-hmm. Actually, I'd probably even... I was going to say...
Okay, how about this?
Maybe not.
Animated version in the style of the newer ones. All the actors are back, except for Henry Cavill, because he didn't come back for reshoots, so they get Gilbert Gottfried.
Perfect.
Right?
That's perfect, Mason.
Isn't it, though? Yeah,
I love the movie Aladdin, so that's perfect for me. I love the movie Problem Child.
Yeah,
in that.
So this is perfect for you, yeah.
Excellent. Wow, what a review.
Oh, I mean, it still wasn't good.
I liked it. I genuinely liked it.
But that's the thing. Like, I think there's definitely room for there are elements of this I like, but and it almost feels like academic at this point. I'm not like...
I didn't feel also with some of the other one, especially Batman v Superman, where I'm pushing back on things to be like, no, I like this even though I hate this part. I didn't really feel that at all for this. It was just like, it's too long, but I like it.
Yeah.
Well, Mason, we've talked enough about Justice League. Let's talk about something else.
I think next we should talk about Justice League more.
Okay, good.
I reckon we should have a segment about our evolving thoughts about Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I'll be happy to do that.
Yeah.
But it's time for what we're reading. What are we going to read?
We're going to read, yeah. I mentioned...
I'm still putting the theme. I just started it. You got to wait.
I forget there's a theme.
You got to wait.
All right.
Can you guys believe this guy just butting in like that into the theme song that he can't hear?
What a son of a bitch. So rude.
Every week we struggle with what we're eating now because, this week it's because we watched King Kong and Justice League and that took up all of our time.
That's 7 hours. Seven plus hours.
And 20 minutes.
Yeah,
20 minutes.
When I watched Justice League, as I woke up, I immediately put on Justice League. I finished Justice League. I got ready for work and I went to work, and then I was at work, and that was my whole day. It was my entire day.
Okay, here's a question for you.
Yes.
By the way, King Kong 2005 is coming up on Tuesday for Caravan of Garbage. Mm-hmm. Which one felt harder to watch?
King Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into it.
Just goes and goes, doesn't it?
You know what I've also been doing? Because I was thinking of covering it, but I don't think I will now. I've been playing the King Kong 2005 game.
Okay.
Because as I mentioned to you, I think, and maybe on the show, it's a cross between a first-person kind of survival adventure where you're low on resources and you're fighting monsters on an island and you're Jack Driscoll.
Oh, yes.
And then all of a sudden
that was Adrian Brody,
yes,
right?
And then it's like, you're King Kong and you're fighting a dinosaur. But I'm playing through it and I'm like, this actually is not very fun or interesting.
Okay, right.
So, I don't think we're going to...
Is it a bit samey?
Yeah, a bit samey. But, I was really looking forward to the King Kong stuff, but really clunky. And the dinosaur fight is really, not fun. So, we probably won't do it anymore. But that's what I've been reading. The King Kong game from 2005.
Incredible. That's great stuff. Yeah. Something that I said, I think, on a previous episode that I was going to read. Yes. Now I have read it and I enjoyed it. Is Maniac of New York.
I'm going to make sure I bought that.
Which is a comic book from Elliot Callan, who hosts a podcast called The Flophouse.
Yes.
He's also done a bunch of other stuff for Marvel and etc. And the artist I wrote down, Andrea Mutti. And it's basically, it's not quite a satire. Well, it's sort of satirical. It's sort of based around the slasher genre.
Jason Voorhees.
It's Jason Voorhees thing, and it's basically about a serial killer called Maniac Harry, who's been in the style of a Jason Voorhees, who's been menacing New York, and he's been doing it for so long that they've just kind of given up. So the police are just like. Yeah, we'll just integrate this into everyday life. They'll send out warnings of Maniac Harry's on the loose, everybody. So just watch out.
That's really great.
And it's kind of
2 issues at the moment.
There's 2 issues so far.
I'm just buying it right now.
And it's kind of it's like
it's a blast and a half.
Yeah, it's a blast and a half, and it's I think it's like a cop and a kind of cop and I think a political aid team up, and they're like, we gotta use our combined smarts of street smarts and also getting through political bureaucracy to kind of find an end to this whole situation.
Okay, cool.
It's bloody, but it's not super crazy gory or anything like that. So it's kind of
cool.
It's fun.
Speaking of super crazy gory, do you know what's out this week?
What's that?
The first 3 episodes of Invincible on Friday on Amazon.
Is it?
Yeah.
That was quick.
So next week we'll probably do that and King Kong versus Godzilla or Godzilla versus Kong or whatever that movie is called. So big week.
Oh, yeah.
And big times.
I was going to mention it
and
up
I'm still
top,
reading Invincible.
I was going to mention it up top. I've forgotten again. During the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, I'm going to be doing a live episode of our friend Matt Stewart's podcast, Primates, with Cass Page and Evan Monroe-Smith. We're going to be there.
Banana.
It's going to be at the European Beer Cafe.
Oh,
one day. I can't remember what it is. But just check my Twitter or check Matt Stewart's Twitter if you want to buy tickets to that. And it'd be great to see people there. I'll say hello.
Absolutely.
That's all I'll say. I'll say hello and then I'll leave.
And then you will say, because you are socially inept.
Yeah, you better believe it.
So,
my God.
So, but that's... You next week mention it up top.
Next week I'll mention it up top.
I'm going to put that in my notes for next week because I think I've already started.
I put it at the top of my notes for Zack Snyder's Justice League.
And you still didn't.
But I still didn't do it.
You're a real piece of shit.
I know.
Okay, sorry.
And I'm socially inept.
That was rude. Is it the next segment of the show?
Yeah, momentarily. But guys, I cannot stress enough, and I'm not just filling time, I cannot stress enough. Go buy tickets to that. We'll have a grand time. We'll have a drink afterwards. It'll be really good.
But he'll only say hello.
I'll literally only say hello, and then we'll silently drink, silently finish our drinks, and then we will leave.
And Mason will pay for your drinks.
What?
Yep.
Whoa. Whoa. Matt Stewart will pay for your drinks.
He will, won't he?
Yeah. Anyway, it's time for letters. The classic one was
Letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away.
I know they're here right now. We're going to do letters.
They're here right now. We are doing letters.
Email in weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com if you've got some letters.
Hashtag weeklyplanetpod on Twitter. Hit us up.
If you've been to a What's New recently, what'd you buy at What's New?
If you've been in Shepperton's What's New.
That's right.
What'd you get? You want to go
A
first?
naughty thing?
If you want, and you can also send a voice memo, which we haven't been through this week, but just keep sending them. Or if you've sent one, what's in there?
It's in there. We'll find it. Don't you worry about it. This is
Yeah.
from Kyle. He says, "Hi James and Maso, having watched all
30 seconds.
Yeah, keep it pithy.
Keep it pithy.
Hi James and Maso, having watched all 4 hours of Zack Snyder's Justice League, I noticed an instantly iconic line from Cyborg that I don't think was in the original. Just before they sneak into Star Labs, Wonder Woman says, 'You should get dressed,' to which Cyborg replies, like an absolute bad boy, 'I'm always dressed.' Personally, I think it's way up there with the much beloved 'You should probably move' and should be celebrated on the show. You're
That's a
absolutely
good
right.
line.
I
It's a
forgot
good
about
line.
that. That is a very good line. I really appreciate it.
I'm always dressed,
Can
yeah.
I be the official voice actor of the pod from Kyle? Yes, you may.
Kaboom. I got one here from a polar bear. Polar bear, sorry.
Does it say rar?
No, just
Fish,
says,
please.
It says Coca-Cola commercial.
Oh.
No, hi, Nick and James.
Bundaberg rum.
If the MCU had never existed, I used to drink that, it's dog shit. But the DCEU
I don't mind it.
was
I
somehow...
don't mind a rum and coke from time to time.
Would you do a Bundaberg, though?
I think I had one at like a Hoodoo Gurus concert once.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
But the DCEU somehow existed. So this is if the MCU didn't. And it was exactly the same. Do you think audiences would have a more favourable opinion of the films? #Weekly Planet Pod. I think it would be... Well, the goalposts have shifted.
Now
in
you're
terms
saying
of,
if the MCU didn't exist,
But the DCEU,
Did
or whatever
exist.
it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
The goalposts have shifted and kind of what people are... Not even like what they like, but also what is just generally accepted would be different. Because
Yeah.
before the MCU, it was like Spider-Man and Fantastic Four and Daredevil and X-Men
Yeah,
were
uh-huh.
like the norm. But
Yeah.
now, like if you release something like that now, people are like, what is this?
Yeah.
Why you do this?
Good question.
Why you do this for?
Why you do this for?
I think people would maybe like it more.
And I wonder, well, that's the thing. Are we, in a non-MCU universe, are we getting these DC movies in their exact form? Because I would wonder if we never got any MCU movies, I wonder if the DC stuff we got, because it's, I would say generally speaking, the DC stuff is considered grittier.
Sure.
And I wonder if it is grittier as a point of difference from the Marvel stuff. So I'm wondering
Yeah.
if maybe the DC stuff would be more earnest. Would we get this?
Okay, yeah.
Like, would it be? Yeah, maybe they wouldn't get a Zack Snyder. Maybe they would get somebody more in line with a nicer movie. Would they get a Spielberg to do a Superman movie
That's
or something
maybe
like
true,
that?
yeah. I think, there was, like, sometimes it seems like the DC stuff is, like, afraid of earnestness. Do you know what I mean? Earnestness. It seems like they're like, oh, no, we don't do that. We're gritty and, like you said, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But also, I think, I think both universes have the capacity for earnestness.
Yeah.
But I think they mask it in different ways.
I'm always dressed.
Yeah, I think the MCU is like, we can be earnest, but here's a bunch of jokes. Here's a rapid fire bunch of quips
Yeah.
beforehand. And I think DC can be earnest, but there's a lot of like posturing. Like we're big and tough, but we can also have a cry now and
Have
then.
a quiet moment between friends,
that's
between
right.
you and me.
Yeah, but I guess if we don't have a quippy universe to counteract, maybe we would get a more earnest DC.
Maybe.
But okay, let's say we didn't get MCU and they just Zack Snyder released a bunch of these and we got Shazam, we got Wonder Woman. Would they be as celebrated? I mean, there wouldn't be the constant like, well, this isn't as funny as Iron Man or whatever.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's unknowable, obviously.
It is unknowable.
I think people would be more okay with it because it'd be the norm.
Yeah,
Like, these are
right.
comic book movies. These are the kinds of ones that we get.
Yeah, I wonder, would we be tired of them?
I don't know.
I don't know, because
I mean, we wouldn't have got Justice League 2017 and then this.
That's true.
Because Justice League 2017 is clearly a reaction to Marvel. Like, they just
Yeah.
went, make it into a Marvel movie.
Get the Marvel guy.
Yeah.
Get the guy who did the success with the Marvel.
Do a cartoon opening where Batman's fighting on a water tank.
Oh,
or
we
something.
didn't get that at all, did we?
No.
Oh, wow.
Bunch of things. We didn't get... Actually, the one scene I did like from the Justice League that he did was that Aquaman reveals some truths with the lasso of truth.
Oh, that's right. That's gone as well, yeah.
that was the one thing
yeah.
that Joss Whedon did in that movie that I liked.
But I preferred the sweater stuff, so I guess that can
That's
go.
right. If you had to... Yeah, I'd take...
Oh,
Yeah.
did you see the sweater Aquaman's wearing at the end?
Yeah,
See
yeah,
it?
yeah, it looks
See the
good.
textures on it? Oh my God. It wasn't just a cable knit, James.
Wasn't
It was
it?
something more.
What else was it?
It was just... It's a
Winter's-
it was a real Nordic kind of vibe.
Winter's
you know?
coming up and you can get into that, can't you? I'm going to get some good sweaters this winter.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Big billowy sweaters.
Couple of sweater boys.
Maybe a maroon
Couple
sweater.
of sweating boys.
A maroon sweater, would that be okay? on me?
Yes.
With my complexion and hair colour,
Yes.
what would be an ideal colour for me for a sweater?
Salt and pepper grey?
No, Mason. That's so I just look like a black and white man.
Yeah.
With my pale skin and white hair.
No, get some high contrast.
A flash of colour.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Done.
Something autumnal.
Okay. Like a seasonal orange.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe not a seasonal orange. Okay. I think you were right with the maroon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
My maroon 5 sweater.
That is what would do it. Here's another letter, James.
Okay.
Ready for this? It's from Liam. He says, I stole your joke to make my wife love me.
All right.
James and Maso, my wife and I recently watched Tom Holland's new film, Cherry. At the end, I mocked Tom using Maso's excellent impression of him, and my wife joined in. I will not be playing this podcast in front of her again, just in case your impression comes on and she realizes I'm not actually funny.
No, if it comes on, just say you sent in a voice message and say we copied it.
Ah, good call.
It's totally fine.
Quick question. Over the years, there have been so many video game movie tie-ins, many covered on Your Caravan of Garbage, speaking of King Kong.
Thank you.
These seem to have died out in recent years with many blockbuster movies not having a game to go with it.
True,
what film do you think would make a decent video game? That is very true. Thank you, Liam. Love the
my
podcast.
God.
Love the podcast, he says. Because and I think it's
They'll do a Lego one every now and then.
it's the turnaround time, I guess. Isn't
It is, yeah.
It's
they're not good ever.
very rarely
very
good.
rarely.
And I think they existed. There must have been. I'm sure there's a cutoff point, like a year, where they'd release the movie and then the game would just be a platform game or whatever.
Yeah.
But we've reached the point where we can't just have that. Would be a mobile game now. So
it
now,
also spoils the movie.
yeah, and we need a game that is it's going to be like a Grand Theft Auto style, like a big open world or something along those lines, or third person action shooter, whatever.
Yeah.
And there's just not enough time to develop a good one, which I think is definitely why the Lego stuff works, because they can just reskin the models.
Absolutely.
And just use the same format over and over again.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, but what though, James? What blockbuster movies would make a decent video game these days?
Oh, well, I mean, Marvel stuff, obviously, and they used to do it.
What could they do though? Like what?
Would you be like, with that Captain America Super Soldier game?
Yeah,
that's like a prequel or an in between.
Yeah, I guess prequels.
Would you do that?
Yeah, I guess that
you got a bit more freedom there.
Yeah, it's story wise. There's more freedom.
Hobbs and Shaw would probably make a good video game.
It's true. Yeah,
I'd probably enjoy it more as a video game.
It's just one of those arm wrestling games at an arcade. You can face off against The Rock or Jason Statham.
Absolutely.
Just
let me look up Blockbusters 2019.
Let's see what 2019. That's the one
we're doing last year.
We're going with. Yeah, no, you're probably right.
Toy Story 4, Aladdin.
Yeah,
there was an Aladdin game. Captain Marvel. You could turn Infinity War into a video game. You just have to have different. Or would you stick with one character, be like your Iron Man to the whole thing?
I think you might have to go with a behind the scenes kind of game.
Where you're an agent?
Yeah, you're an agent.
I would hate that.
Yeah, I know you would hate that. Or no, not even an agent, but like a maybe a Wong. You've got to collect all the people that have been unsnapped.
It's like the Enter the Matrix video game, but you're
that
Wong.
could be good. Some of Enter the Matrix was good at the time, if you recall.
I've never played it.
You played it. You're playing it right now.
I played Path of Neo extensively.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But I never played Enter the Matrix.
Yeah, because and also another issue I think they have is that they don't want to give all the plot details to the developers because they'll get leaked.
When the Revenge of the Sith game just has a bunch of footage. I remember because I bought it before, the day before the movie came out.
Yeah.
On PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
And
PlayStation 2?
And I just 2005.
Oh, yeah.
So I decided not to play it because it just spoils the entire movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was the era where they'd put in full motion video and all the developers knew all the secrets, but now you could never do something like that.
Yeah.
Like imagine Marvel being like, this is the end of Endgame, put it in your video game. It just couldn't happen.
No. So I think you'd have to get,
any Spider-Man movie could be a game. You just open world it and you do the main stuff, but also he delivers pizzas, which is what they did.
That's
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I think nowadays what do you got in non superhero stuff in 2019?
Oh my goodness.
Right? Because I think any kind of Marvel blockbuster, you'd have to get a minor character and be that character. Because that's the only way you could not spoil it. You could go, okay, I said, you could go, okay, well, Wong shows up at the end of Endgame and he's got all the. You wouldn't even. No, that would be too much of a spoiler as well, actually. If he collects all the people who got unsnapped, that's a spoiler.
You'd have that as DLC, which is something they actually started to do because with one of the Bond games, and I don't remember which one, they released when the movie came out, they released the DLC for that movie
Skyfall,
after.
yeah.
Skyfall, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Avengers Endgame, The Lion King. I get they did that, but
Yeah.
Frozen 2, Toy Story 4, you could make into like a cute little adventure.
For sure, yeah.
Captain Marvel, yeah, you fly and you punch and whatever. The Rise of Skywalker. I think I would like to see an attempt at just redo the Star Wars movies, all of them, as actual video games.
How about this?
Like third-person action adventure games.
Super new trilogy.
Yes.
Super Nintendo
Yes.
style. You're going... boop,
Yeah.
boop, 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 boop,
You know
boop.
John Stratman, who does the 16-bit scenes?
Yeah.
I just don't understand why somebody hasn't contacted him or somebody like him, but he's clearly the best at it, and just being like, design this, just make The Force Awakens as a side-scroller. Like, because he could do it.
And Ray's there. She's got the lightsaber.
Yeah.
It's as big as she is.
It'd be amazing.
You know?
Yeah. What about It?
Didn't we play that mobile game?
Yeah, but what about It?
Yeah, you just beat up the big clown.
What about Joker?
Point and click adventure game.
And then,
but one of those really frustrating ones.
But there's also a moment where you have to shoot 3 men on a train.
Yep.
And then Murray.
Yeah. That's what it says on the box. Can you shoot 3 men and Murray?
I'd imagine it's like your gun's like waving.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like a fucking... It's a point and click. It's like, those, it's like Time Cop.
Yeah.
But it's just one guy. You're going to shoot. I love an arcade game where you just have to shoot 4 people. You just watch the movie Joker and then it's just like, shoot Murray. And you have to shoot.
There's just a line of kids around the block. They were going to put their dollar in. They're just waiting. But you have to watch the entirety of the movie Joker. And then you just wait. And then you shoot Murray. But if you shoot anybody else before that, the game ends.
The game's ends, yeah.
Murray.
So Fast and Furious we talked about. They are video games. John Wick, they have done games.
Yeah.
They've done some mobile stuff and...
See, I guess that
things.
works because you've got... You could do it like Hitman contract style. It's just, here's some adventures John Wick went on, and by adventures I mean murder jaunts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So How to Train Your Dragon, obviously you had you could do. But Detective Pikachu, I guess...
Already a game.
They'd probably just release it as like... I don't know what they do. I think they just... That might be one of the things where they just released the Detective Pikachu game that's sort of not really related.
Yes.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you can't really do. Shazam would be a fun...
James, look, let's workshop Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Maybe not today.
Okay, so you watch the entire movie and then you have
Then you beat up some hippies.
And
And it's one of those punching bag games at the arcade.
And then it's like, quick, flamethrower this woman in the pool. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Aquaman again.
And then it's just staring at cool stuff on the Hollywood strip or whatever it is.
Exactly. Knives Out you could do as a point and click, I guess.
You could do it Cluedo style.
Cluedo style.
Do you reckon there's a Knives Out version of Cluedo?
Probably.
Or Clue, as they call it in America?
Maybe not then. Dumbo, whatever. Maleficent, whatever. Glass. Godzilla King of Monsters you could do. They've done Godzilla games multiple times.
How about a version of, Glass and you can almost flip a car. It's your character's power. You're Bruce Willis and you walk in the streets and you just walk in the streets.
Yep. And then someone goes, have you heard of Salt Bay? And you've got a tree, series of, like a branching questionnaire thing where you got to be like, what? Do you remember that scene?
Nope.
Where his son's like, Salt Bay. And he's like, what's this? And he's like, he salts things. And he's like, I don't understand.
I don't remember that at all.
I think that was just a real thing that they shot.
Yeah.
What about, I got some others, I guess. Ford versus Ferrari, you could just do as a racing game, obviously. Lego Movie, they're all, not easy, but you could do it. Alita Battle Angel, you could definitely do. Men in Black International. Yesterday could be a SingStar game. Zombieland, you could do. Terminator Dark Fate, you could do. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. Into the Spider-Verse, that'd be like a great game. All right, that's enough of that.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay, that is, you're right. But I think yesterday would be a good SingStar game, except at the end, you always get 0. And the crowd are like, what? What is this? Have you heard about the story behind yesterday?
In terms of what?
The script was apparently written by someone, and it's more of a downer script.
Yeah.
But then the guy,
Daniel Boyle.
Yeah, the guy who writes all Love Actually.
Oh yeah, Richard Curtis.
He demanded full credit on the script, even though he didn't write it.
Really?
He just tweaked it. I think there's a Rolling Stone article on it. I'll send it to you. Yeah.
Oh, I think I remember that. Have we talked about it on this?
Yeah. Maybe not on this, but maybe in real life, which is like this.
No, I have heard of that.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
I feel like it is like this, isn't it? I got one more here. It's from Tim who says, Hashtag Weekly Planet Pod. Hit us up on Twitter. A good dub, because last week we were like, are there any good anime dubs? And I actually knew this one because I know everything about anime, but Cowboy Bebop, without a doubt, says Tim. Mm-hmm. So what do you think of that?
I think it's good.
Hashtag dubs v
subs.
You've
made a good point. Surabi, who moderates the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group,
yes.
sent one in as well, and I'll find it.
What do I do in the meantime?
Just twiddle your thumbs.
Twiddle.
Surabi said, good dubbed animes. Maso asked last week about good dubbed animes. Death Note and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood in dubbed worked well for me, she says.
Okay, then.
Yeah. She was also provided a YouTube link that I think is a joke.
I bet it's really good. I don't think she would have sent a joke thing. I think it would have been a sincere effort to reach out to you and provide some quality entertainment.
Well, that's not what we're about here on the Weekly Planet, so
that's
get out of
true.
Here. Yeah.
Speaking of getting out of here, let's get out of here.
Let's get it, folks. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed our review of Zack Snyder's Justice League.
What was your review of it? I've got one more thing. We might do that at the end, this is in the Great Mates group.
Yes.
Speaking of Great Mates, so before you wrap it up, Alex Child made this post.
Go on.
So it's about a friend of his. So it's, hey guys and gals, I just wanted to share some photos of my best friend and the greatest of mates, William. He's the one who got me listening to the boys years ago, and they've become the centre of the majority of our inside jokes. For the past 2 years, Will has been battling brain cancer, and whilst he has been such a trooper and by far the strongest person I've ever known, unfortunately his condition has taken a turn and he's been in hospital for the past few weeks. He's lost his vision. He will appreciate Scarlet Witch puns in the comments, but he can still hear and respond to us with hand gestures. So on the off chance James and Maso see this, if you boys could give him a shout out on the next episode, it would mean the absolute world to him. Also, if he could become the official Spartan of the pod, that would be amazing.
Yes, absolutely. That's right.
His family is originally from Sparta, and just everyone knows about it now. Plus, he has a huge man crush on Jerry Butler. Join the bloody, get in the queue, mate.
Get in the queue, and the slightly shorter queue behind me because of David Wenham.
That's right. P.S. James Maso, thank you for being my friend. So much joy over the years. You boys have really brought us close together. That sucks.
Yeah.
Awful. Sorry to hear that.
Best wishes to you out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So and thank you for Alex for sending that in as well. Really appreciate that. So boo. We're sorry. But also thank you for saying nice things, and we hope there's some joy in any of this.
I hope you enjoyed our long rambling Justice League review. I hope that brought you as much joy as it can.
Yeah. None?
More than none. Slightly more than none. We'll take it.
That's right, yeah.
Folks, thanks everybody for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for telling a friend. Thank you for lying to a friend to get them to listen to the podcast. We very much appreciate that.
We do.
And thank you for leaving a nice review. James, you got a couple of nice reviews?
I've got a nice review. It's from Tim Trotman. That was from the thing before. This is from M.A. Blank, who says, worth at least the cost of 2 big sandwiches. You can just do this in app. Did you know, Mason?
I did know that, yes.
Clickety-clack, and you open it up. And you just
clickety-clack.
Give it a 5.
Clickety-clack, open that app.
That's right. The Weekly Planet is the most engaging and fun podcast there is. 2 friends, mates with an 8, if you will, talking about comic book, TV, and movie news and shooting it out to you. Always fun and always worth a listen. They also have the best community of mates on Facebook and Reddit. It's very difficult to cultivate a following that is supportive and engaged today. That's also because the moderators do an excellent job.
That is true.
Yeah. I've been a subscriber of theirs some time now and do not consider any money wasted. You'll find that listening to them is worth the time. Even listening to the back catalogue of old news is still fun. Supporting them through Big Sandwich is wonderful as well. I listen on Android, and their podcast always has time codes, so you can jump and skip through to the spoiler sections.
That is very true.
A rare thing for a podcast to do. So that's a beautiful review. Or you can just write this one.
I like the idea of podcast.
Yes. Oh, in a way, we are podcast, aren't we? Evan Von 15 just said, good podcast. Don't believe me? That's fair. We don't know each other. So yeah, it all helps.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, whatever amount of effort you can afford, we'd appreciate.
Folks, if you want to get into contact with us, you can go to weeklyplanetpod at Gmail, at Facebook, at Twitter, at Bandcamp. You can go to planetbroadcasting.com. You can sign up to the newsletter from the great Rob Collins. He's at Rob Collins on Twitter. He's at The Weekly Planet on Twitter. He edits all kinds of videos. He edits our WandaVision recaps. He edits our bloody Falcon and Winter Soldier recaps. It's great stuff.
I agree.
I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter, and on Instagram, I'm Nick Maso, NickMaseau. James, you're Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere.
I am, actually.
Terrific stuff. I'm not going to change any of those?
Should I?
Yeah. Make them all different.
Okay.
Make yourself upsettingly hard to find. If you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies if you'd like to chuck in a buck.
Oh, yeah.
I very much appreciate that. You can also go to the Amazon affiliate link in our episode description. Click through, buy some stuff on Amazon. Helps us out in some vague way.
That is good stuff.
It is good stuff. You can also go to bigsandwich.co. You can sign up there for $9 US dues per month. and we provide bonus podcasts. We provide movie commentaries. We provide early videos. We provide all kinds of stuff.
That's right. We really do.
We have a good old time. I'm enjoying a lot of stuff.
Oh, what's up this week? Should I find out what we're doing this week?
Find out what we're doing this week.
Let's have a look.
Sometimes I think I said a funny thing.
And now nobody will hear it because it's on Big Sandwich. Few people will hear it.
But then some people do hear
some
it,
people
which
do
we
hear
very
it.
much appreciate. I'm like, good. I said a dumb thing.
Oh, so we got this covered.
Nice, where we talk about funny clickbaits.
That's right, yeah.
And we've got some t-shirts on tpublic.com. Why not, in celebration of the release of 2 Captain America boys,
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, get our friend Christopher Small's a t-shirt, 2 Captain America boys.
2 Captain America boys.
We don't make a single red thin dime from that, but
No, we don't.
I just like the.
But then we're going to hit him up for money. We're going to be like, give us all that money. We're going to say to him.
We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait till the last moment. We're gonna like, give us some money. Give us
No, we're not going to do that.
But you can also get our logo
money.
t-shirts. You get all kinds of stuff. It's
Yes,
great
that's
stuff
right.
over there. Thank you to the Brute and the Basilisk and Rackham for all our musical themes.
Next week, King Kong versus Godzilla and
Yes.
Invincible. But we might, I don't know whether we're going to do a full Invincible episode or we might do that towards the end of the season. But good reviews. Been getting good reviews.
Oh, that's good to know.
I had a Kong screening tomorrow night. They were like, come to the Kong screening. But it was in Sydney. Even though I know there's a Melbourne one. And I'm like, I should message them and say that I'm not in Sydney. But then I didn't, Mason.
Great.
And now I'm not going.
Dad brain. That's what's happened there.
I just went, fuck it. Just fuck it. I'll just wait for it to come to streaming.
Yeah.
On Binge or whatever the fuck it's going to pop up on here. Some
Great.
bullshit.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
I'll just go to the movies. I'll go on a Thursday or Friday morning and I'll go at like 9 a.m. and there'll be nobody there.
Yeah. I might do a rooftop.
A rooftop?
Rooftops.
How are you going to see a movie and standing on a bloody rooftop, mate?
Bloody great difficulty, I tell you.
You can watch it Binge on your phone on a rooftop.
Yeah, I'll do that. I just brood on a rooftop and watch.
Fucking Binge. I can't wait till we get a Binge ad one day. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take all their money. And then I'm going to rubbish it in every other medium that we talk about them on. I'm going to take all their
It's
money.
only $10 a month. Sign up to Binge.
It's well worth
great
it.
shows.
It's not run by fucking Rupert Murdoch, that dumb prick. That's what I'll say.
It's unturn-offable. Binge.
They take all the good stuff and they fucking put it behind a stupid paywall where you need a box for your house for some reason. It's a fucking nightmare. Australia's fucked, mate. It's fucked.
It's time to wrap up the show, I think. Folks, grab that gem. We will see you next week.
And goodbye. Oh, I got to put the end sting in.
Oh, you're nice.
This is fucked. This is just part of the system here. It's all fucked, Mason. It's all fucked.
God, folks, you don't hear the trademark rants he says off the air. My goodness.
My goodness.
They'd make a sailor blush, I'll tell you that much.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates. I mean, if you want. It's up to you.